Oh, that was one too. That's all that was wrong with that truck. I should have said
Oh, your glass, you got my glass there. I think I've got it there.
Are you too young to look at them?
Jim Travis likes to give stuff away that doesn't belong to him.
I don't know, they got the union here or somebody.
This one on this side is the one that is the one that goes up and down. Yeah, this one. Morning, Mike. What's up, fellas?
How are you doing? We always do.
Sitting down at the bed, front end work done.
Already working on it, huh?
Well, you know how it is with trucks, you don't ever really stop them.
Yeah, okay.
Good, Gary Ruckheimer.
Oh, hey, there's always time. You never can tell.
You know, they've always got that band playing in the background and stuff.
That's what I need to do. You know, he was. Off of the work, do some shows and he makes like $1 million. But he was sitting there talking to me, he was after the show was over, they took some guests all came back. They was talking, he was like, this is major dogs right now.
That's what I've heard, that it's just a.
He probably knew you.
Oh, you know, doesn't it really?
You know that.
You know, it is a nightmare. I did say you're straight.
You mean like?
I should have hit my girl.
And he doesn't know the record there. I sent all that information to them. And Arkansas said that.
We're missing a crucial part of the building. So we're missing.
Well, I found that out, well, I just found that out because I kept talking, I thought, I'll call him, and then nobody answered. And then I got on Google, a couple days later, I'm trying to call her, get on up there. Hey, I'll work on
Later on today, it's supposed to get up.
It'll be a right nice weekend.
Well, the sun's out. Take a good look and see what the hardest thing in the sky was. I hadn't seen it so long. I'm gonna run y'all out.
What time?
We know, Zach.
Oh, put down fire.
I ain't putting on any fire. Yeah.
Did you get an autograph the other night?
Did I get an autograph?
Yeah, did you get an autograph anything?
No. Well, you know, well, I mean, that's just like, you know, I mean, I'm the old royal myself. I think, you know, that would be weird.
Did he get your autograph?
Yeah. I heard that he was trying to get my autograph, but I was playing hard to get it. It was pretty cool. She danced all night right in front of me all night. Yeah, she was one of the guests. Right over there. Yeah. Didn't get there all the guests.
We have the secretaries and then they bring them up. Just to have a good band, they bring them there and hang out for about 2 hours and then they take them back and say, right here, right there.
Who all stuff?
What do you mean?
I mean, I've heard other times, never seen other people.
Well, they have a whole lot of variety of people. Jennifer here was all in her husband, Steve, and all that. And then they have a couple guys that are lobbyists for AT&T and Washington DC. Where was it? Who's on? Iron Ore. Hey, that's a hot place in Blueville, man.
Been on one side.
We went on.
Somebody gets stuck with them,
The adult side.
like last week.
Yeah. All these chairs that went to shit, I stole 3 chairs this morning, none of that put back on. Well, it's something like a low parts of we ordered.
It has a lumbar. Hang on. It's not crank right.
We'll go ahead and get started this morning. We'll welcome everyone here to the February 5th, 2024 Fiscal Court meeting. Jim, if you would you open the word of prayer for us, please?
Father in heaven, we thank you for another day of life you've given us. We thank you for all the blessings. We thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, who died for our sins so that we'll be saved and we can live eternity with him in heaven. Father, we ask that you give us the wisdom and guidance we need today as we answer these questions and comment. And Father, we pray that everything will be done civilly and kindly. We're always getting this together, so just be with us and guide us along the way. And we thank you. It's in Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
If you would join me in salute to our flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everyone. Madam Clerk, if you would, call the roll, please.
Squire Stone.
Here.
Squire Ferris.
Here.
Squire Eldridge.
Here.
Squire Travis.
Here.
Squire Travis.
Here.
Squire Cotton.
Here.
All right, we're all here. I don't have any communications. Move on to communications from citizens. Does anyone in the audience like to address the court on any particular matter?
I would.
Okay, Michael?
I'm Michael Morgan. I just want to make sure it's brought to the attention of the court. We have lots of citizens here today from Whitfield. I just want to make sure that it's known by everybody. So back in 2022, the state of Kentucky paid Mago Paving $122,000 to widen Whitfield Lane 18 to 20 feet wide. I don't believe that was done. So I just want to bring that to the attention. Leave it to the court's opinion what they want to do about that. Thank you.
Guys, are we going to talk when we come up or?
Yes.
No, they don't speak on zoning. I just want to make sure everybody understands that.
Yeah, Bob, if you'd like to address this, that'd be the appropriate time.
Well, I'm not gonna talk about it. I can't talk about my zone.
Not during the zoning portion, because we did a public hearing already. If the court decides to do a public hearing where both sides can speak, it has to be advertised and done appropriately.
But right now, Bobby, you got 3 minutes.
I don't need 3 minutes. Something that's bothering me is the Whitfield Lane, that's county. I know for a fact that there's only 2 lots in there zoned properly. The rest of them are still zoned Ag 1. Well, what happened when the county changed the zoning from Ag 1 is 10 acres, it used to be 5, and they didn't upgrade the zoning. And it should have been done. People shouldn't have to be paying for that land sitting there not properly zoned, and it's been there since I don't know what, 96 maybe. But you understand what I'm saying? These people are living on a piece of property that's improperly zoned. And I'd like to see somebody make a motion to correct that all the way across the board. Because I didn't know I was gonna have to pay to get it rezoned, because it looked like to me it's a 5-acre tract subdivision. And I have no really I can always find out, I go find out from Julie, but didn't nothing ring any bells with me, and I had to rezone it. And that's not right to the people, because the court made the change. It should have corrected the zoning when it did. So I'd like to see you take that up as a board.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience like to address the court? That this is the proper time? All right. Hearing none, we'll close the communications for citizens. Next on our agenda under E, communication reports from members of other offices, committees. We are fortunate this morning to have Ms. Stacy Rockaway, the field representative for Congressman Thomas Massey's office, and of course, Congressman Massey took over all of Spencer County, I guess, a year or two ago, Stacy.
Yes, sir.
So we welcome her, and I was trying to think how many years you worked with Congressman Massey's office.
Since he was elected in 2012.
Okay, yeah, 12 years, I guess, going on 12 years. So, but I've had the opportunity to work with Stacy over the years with different things with Farm Bureau and other agencies. So welcome you here today.
Thank you. And I just want to take a couple minutes to introduce myself. Some of you I have met, some of you I have not. The Congressman's office, the district offices are here to help the citizens. So if you have anybody that you know that needs assistance with a federal agency, feel free to forward them to us. Probably the top 5 calls that we get are veterans benefits, disability, Medicare, Social Security, IRS. But again, any federal agency, if you have a citizen that needs assistance, feel free to forward them to us. We can usually open up an inquiry, a congressional inquiry, and look into a matter. One of the fun stories that I like to tell is actually we've had a couple of people who've called our office and they've received letters from the Social Security Administration telling them that they have passed away and they will no longer be getting their benefits. And they're usually very good humored about it, believe it or not. And we look into it and somebody has just typed in the wrong Social Security number when somebody passes. And so we get that figured out for them. But so anyway, we're happy to help with issues like that. The Congressman wants to know how you all feel about bills that are coming up or regulations that may be affecting you, whether it's county government or just something going on in a town, city, state. Always call. We take messages, we log them into a database, and they're forwarded to the Congressman at the end of the night, so your call doesn't stop with the field representative or a staff person. A couple other really quick things. If you know of a student who's interested in getting into a military academy, they have to have a letter of recommendation either from the Congressman, U.S. Senator, President, or Vice President, and it is actually a separate application process. So they go through 2 application processes, one for the academy, one for the elected official. So have the students give us a call, and we're happy to send them a packet and get them the information that they need. And grants. Grant money is fewer and farther between. It seems to be less and less. Of course, I think there's still a lot of ARPA money, but if you find a federal grant that you want to apply for, the Congressman is happy to write a letter of support because it's our tax money that goes to DC to fund those grants, and he's happy to try to bring, that money if it's already been appropriated, try to bring that back to Kentucky. And I have, for the court members, and I have extra back here for the citizens, constituents. If you all don't mind, I'll pass these out. We have our new brochures that list Spencer County as being completely in the district, and we have half northern Nelson County. And I greatly appreciate the time. Again, my name is Stacy Rockaway. I am the field rep, so if you all need anything, since the congressman's in DC 4 or 5 days a week, I'm happy to be the liaison.
Thanks, Stacy. I have, some of us may have some questions or comments. We just recently, like a week ago, went into an agreement with the city of Taylorsville to apply for a raise grant to try to get the sidewalks finished around the high school. KIPTA is running it through them. They're assisting us to get it done. It's $1 million grant, and we agreed to put up $100,000 because it's an 80-20 match. The city agreed to put up $100,000, and we're trying to work with the school system also, or maybe 3 partners could take part of it. But the school opened in 1983, and there's still not a sidewalk out front. The kids run across the grass, and we deemed it a priority to try to get that done. And we're also expanding our parks down by the creek, and we're planning to the original. They had applied for a TAP grant in like 2017, and the costs are like 3-4 times that now, so there's not enough to get it done, and there's just been red tape after red tape, a lot of it on the state level. As far as getting that TAP grant, still don't have no sidewalks, but it's already designed all the way around to where you enter the football field, and then we'd like to continue that on down into the county owns both sides of the bridge, and Ray Jill Park is already open to the north, and we're opening the side to the south. And we'd like to connect, go under the bridge, and then the Senior Citizens Center folks could ride their scooters per se around this sidewalk and not be riding up and down the side of the road. But KIPTA's gonna, by the 28th of this month, the application is due, and we would like to, any way the congressman can help us out, we'd love to get some sidewalks built for the safety of our residents.
Certainly, we're happy to write a letter of support on that. I will let the office know.
All right, thank you. You guys have any other questions for Ms. Rockaway?
Or comments. I'm happy to take that.
Thank you for coming in, and nice to meet you.
Certainly.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Stacy. I'll brag on Stacy, another item, you know, the Plum Creek watershed cleans the creek out annually, and there was some, we were having some issues about getting in and out of the creek. And I know we had a meeting there at Waterford Park one morning, and someone from the federal government came at the extension office and had a meeting. And long story short, there's a process that's followed, the one-step process. So we follow that every year, and we're, getting the rock cleaned out of the creek. And, well, I say we, the Plum Creek watershed. But Stacy was instrumental in us getting through all the legwork of that. So, anyway, thank you for that. Next on the agenda are the department updates, and I believe are all department heads here. And basically, I'll just open it up to the fiscal court members. If anyone has any questions that you'd like to ask the department heads, we're gonna, the aim is that every morning meeting of each month, the first meeting, have the department heads here to answer questions and so forth. I'm not gonna ask them to stay here all morning, but if you guys think of a question, if you don't have one now, but you happen to think of one and you need to ask any of them, by all means, at any time, we can ask them questions. Do any of the department heads have anything that they'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, go ahead, Todd.
Kind of give you all an update on the road department. The salt dome, as you all, some of you are aware of, is complete now. We have it, and the floor is done. We've managed to do block work on the inside to protect the walls. We're still going to try to do some outside work as far as like French drain to protect the outside too. So we're working on that today. The first snow event that we had, it was all kind of experimental to us because we're normally using cinders. So we've documented stuff that just give you all an idea. We approximately used about, in order to cover the county and the county once, with salt for what we were doing is around 87,000 pounds of salt. Well over 40 tons.
43.
Yeah, 43 and a half. That was on the first coverage on it. And just my analysis during the first coverage, it was working within the first hour or two. There were areas in the county that we already put salt down that it melted right on off. But the thing about it is, each snow event that you have, the temperatures affect everything. So going from 28 degrees, it was doing its job, and then when it drops down to like 3 and 5 degrees, and then it gets into the lighter portion of the evening, then you have no traffic on it whatsoever to help you with that friction. So we're just getting used to it. We're starting it out. So we end up using around 25,000 tons or pounds the next day to hit some of the troubled areas till we got traffic on it. There were some areas we still had to use senders on because, it's our first snow event. So
Have y'all got more salt back up there then yet?
I've got 200 tons sitting in the barn right now. So we started out with 80 tons.
Being that you got some more, it probably won't snow no more.
Well,
That'd be all right.
let's one by next year.
Yeah.
So to treat the county, essentially to treat the county one time, you had to go back and do some other kind of spot up stuff like on the second day. So you're just looking at about 65 to 68 tons to do
Yes.
for one event.
Yeah, and if we had the right temperatures, if it was 72 and sunny, everybody always wants to say that, the first treatment probably would have worked.
Right.
Because I was going to places up in Elk Creek that I've already done back in Dan's district and the roads were already black. But the thing about it, when it drops from 28 degrees to 3, and no traffic on it, and then it snowed for the next 5-6 hours, we kept getting a 10th here to, some parts of the county have 3 more inches on top of it. So it's a try. Each event's going to be different.
Will be very different.
You
They're having a 3-inch snow, we may use what you used to use, and we may have a 6-inch snow, we may use double or triple that.
Well, and also too, I've been here in a county where, I even called in one day and, you got the trucks going yet, and I got 5 inches at my house. I measured it on my truck, and the whole west side of the county didn't get nothing. There was nothing there. So, the actual snow event went right up the Shelby County, Spencer County line, right into Mount Eden. So, a couple other things that I got on there. Tucker Farms, I got with the contractor over there. He has actually started laying the pipe on the widening. So I'm they're in the process of resuming that subdivision and the widening part of it.
Yeah, it's on Hofstrasse.
Yes.
Did, that one's got the metal grade across it, they have a problem with that drain or something not being right size or something?
Which one?
There's one that's got the metal plates across it instead of, they put 2 culverts in with gravel. The other one they didn't get in, I just wondered why.
Probably for the water flow for right now. I had no idea, unless they were just trying to
Okay,
get ahead of the game,
I was just wondering.
because they spent a couple days on the one up there close to.
Is the developer going to be required to pave over those gravel areas where the pipes were before he widens the road, or?
On some of them, I'm gonna have them encased in concrete. And then once he does the widening, then he'll come over with the surface.
Yeah, right.
Everything, but there won't be no joints or anything.
It could be months before that road.
They'll do a
goes
concrete
finished,
cap on it.
Yeah, so, people not driving over that rough gravel spot.
Yeah, he's gonna do a concrete cap on it.
All right, great.
He already get a lot done is he out there working this week?
Yes.
And it's gonna be a pretty week still.
Yeah, he was setting head walls, as of Friday, on the first set of pipes. So, I guess you're all gonna bring this up later on Silo Farms.
Yes.
I have ordered a block y'all gave me to start on the repair work on it. So I ordered all the block work, and so we can start on the, road widening as soon as they're accepted into the system. So, we're still shouldering roads throughout the county, best we can. Asphalt coming up. I've done talked to Mago. Plans are, we still have 10 roads left from the flex funds and the budgeted, still left to do. We also have the park at Waterford up there left to do. It's on their schedule too. And I've got the patchwork to do over on Littlewell.
Put the park at Waterford down the list. Let's work on the roads first.
Well, it's on the end. It's all in a group. I mean, it's there. So.
Are they gonna be able to get on this first thing?
I've done talk to them in April is when the plants open back up. So we are on the.
A couple of meetings ago, I asked you to ask Todd to put some rock out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get that message?
He didn't, and the main reason was with it in the middle of that cold spell and the snow and all, we need
I'm
to get
okay
it.
with that, but now we're past that, so we.
Well, that's true. Yeah, go ahead and tell him.
Just down there on that extended parking lot station down at Waterford Park, you just take another stone down there, it's got a couple of places that just need to be dressed up, or still need some extra stone just to.
We'll need extra stone to prep that before the pavers even get in it.
Well, whatever, it's rougher than cob right now, just.
Okay, that's fine.
That's,
I know about it now.
Yeah, no, I know, that wasn't, I was just, I didn't know, I knew we was real busy at the time, so there could have been a possibility you might not know about it, so I was just bringing it up, just so you didn't.
And one other thing, I was at the county judge's conference the other day in Lexington, and Mr. Leon, Mr. Squirrel, and the road department, they had a class there, and I was in on it, and want to make sure we go ahead and get our a new flex list. We need to be thinking about getting our new flex roads started, and then we need to think about discretionary roads again.
I need to get the new forms for it too, from the email.
Take a
That
ledger.
changed everything.
Yeah, take a ledger and start writing down, while we're out and about, start writing down so we can be prepared to get that list in quicker, or this time, please.
Is the three-way stops in, Top Flight okay now?
From my understanding, I don't have any bad emails, so.
You did put up additional speed limit.
Yeah, and we're putting up the, stop bars too.
The what?
The stop bars,
Okay.
which is the white.
Right.
And I've got always stops. I put on the freeway.
All right, anything else for Todd? Todd, appreciate it.
Thank you for the work y'all do.
It's a good report. I'm just gonna go down this list. Victoria, do you have anything at animal shelter?
So I know that we normally don't give, reports out about the dogs that come into the shelter and stuff like that, but I would like to start, that way you guys can see, what's coming in, what's going out. We've had 44 dogs in the shelter for the month of January. We've got 12 in the shelter. We've adopted out 25. We have 5 that went to rescue and 4 that are in foster at the moment. So I would like to start doing that, whether y'all want to do it monthly, quarterly, however, just to kind of see what's coming in, what's going out. And I know later on the schedule, y'all have to talk about the invoices and stuff for the animal shelter. So I sent out a price list to the vet's office, including this new Humane Society that's coming into the county. The services on this first sheet are just services that we have had done on dogs in the shelter in the past. Some of them are not common. There's a few that are kind of few and far between uncommon, but we've had them done. We've had to pay for them. Elk Creek had sent me back their price list. The Humane Society sent back one what they're going to charge. And then Salt River has sent us back one. And I'm still working on dollars. The email they gave me didn't work, so I'm going to have to probably personally go out there.
I have a question. So are these apples to apples? Because I know there's some things that the Elk Creek charges additional fees for, like clipping nails, that kind of stuff, that are all included in one price.
Well, the Humane Society has it on there. Elk Creek has never charged us for a nail trim. It's what they do charge usually. Now, Elk Creek's prices does not include the 30% discount that we get from that vet's office as well. So you have to take that into consideration too, to put the 30% on the price list that they gave us. However, Elk Creek is able to do, we have dogs that have to have more expensive surgery. I have a dog that was rescued and had to have an $1,800 surgery, and I got a rescue out of Canada, called down here and paid for its surgery. And then they took the dog. So they were able to perform that surgery. The Humane Society, however, it states on their paper that they will not be performing certain extensive surgeries and different things. So I think that either way you compare the cost, it would, whether you're going to one for certain things case by case, or whether you're going to another. You guys can look at the cost and kind of see. I do know there's some things with Elk Creek that we can get at a cheaper rate. It's just never been done. I think before it was just kind of take the dog and pay for whatever the dog needs. Elk Creek has stated that they can order the box of heartworm tests just specifically for the shelter dogs to keep there. It would be cheaper to do it that way. We don't every dog, but the ones that we do, heartworm tests are around $80. I mean, so I think they can probably order some of our vaccines in bulk that I can get. I mean, I vaccinate all the puppies at the shelter. So it's really how we can cut the cost and what you all are willing to go up to beyond the basic wellness. If we have a dog like that dog that had that hip surgery, if I couldn't get anybody to pay for that dog surgery, we can't pay $1,800 for one dog surgery. We got 40 dogs in the shelter, So, we try our best for every one of them, and, try to get them adopted, rescued, whatever they need. But it's what it is, so.
You gave a list of the dogs that were adopted, and now, how many dogs were euthanized?
0. In the month of January, 0. In the month of December, 1. And he was trying to eat me alive. I mean, he was not a nice dog. So, he just wasn't safe, and really, I have dogs that come in that are temperamental. I have one in there right now, and he growls at certain people, and then he loves other people. So, it's just being able to see if they're going to fit in a specific home. Would I put that dog in my home with my kids? Probably not. But would somebody else with no kids take that dog? Maybe. If he didn't act like that, around them, then he might take them. So it's all different scenarios and, the home that they're going into at that time.
I saw Joe went home with his.
He did. Yeah. Me and the girls, we just banged together and paid his adoption fee for him. Because we had a homeless guy here in the county that brought his dog in this past week, and he surrendered it. They kicked him out of his apartment, and he sat down at the shelter and cried with his dog. It was pitiful and sad. And then somebody in the county stood up and said they were going to let him live in their heated garage and put him in an apartment out there, and so he could have his dog back. So, but we had already fixed the dog, so we paid all that. So, like I said, me and the girls, we paid his adoption fee. But it's just different circumstances. We had a dog come off of Shear Street that had the mange. I can't adopt that dog to nobody. It has mange. So we had a rescue step forward, and they pulled the dog, and we didn't have to pay for certain things on that dog. Rescues are few and far between right now. If you get a breed-specific dog, a border collie, there's a rescue in Ohio that will take every one we get. If you get a little dog, Chihuahua, rescue will pull every one of them. But you get mixed breed dogs that are high strung, no training, they're harder to find homes for. But, like I said, we try for every one. As far as we can. I got one that's over now. She's getting ready to have a meet and greet. She's been there for over 4 months now, so we're hoping for her today.
You need to get like Sarah, when they do like a commercial on Facebook, do like Sarah McLaughlin singing in the background. Just some people to adopt.
Are you in, like, conversation with the Smith County Humane Society on the new shelter and what they're gonna do here?
So I don't know her personally, but I have spoken with her, and she had, she's told me, we got donated dog food up here, if you run out, come get it, like, she's been real nice about everything. As far as the prices, I know they're planning to do a soft opening, apparently the 10th of this month. So, but they're only gonna be opening to like wellness vaccines, spay and neuter, things like that. Their vet that's on staff, I have not met her, but she's gonna be there, I think, 2 days a week, as far as I know. So things for the county, it would be different than the regular appointments that they have coming in, because she would obviously make room for the county dogs. But their prices on there, like I said, they're all, I think they're all within like $50. So it's really, if we wanna go here and like Salt River had a stipulation on theirs, they did, I think it was $79 for female dogs under 40 pounds. Well, almost every female dog I have in the shelter is above 3 pounds. We got big dogs over there, and those are the ones that stay longer, so that's gonna cost more. It's just comparing the prices and seeing, who's gonna be the best option, or even utilizing more than one.
Well, the Humane Society says for a spay under 50 pounds is $85. So they Salt River's cheaper than that, right?
No, dog spayed in Salt River less than 40 pounds, so $105.
Less than, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said $45.
No.
I was gonna say,
So, like I said, you're gonna lose money in certain spots, but you're gonna make them up in others. Like I said, the heartworms are about $80 a dog, and if we can just get just the heartworm, Elk Creek can do it for like $12 a dog. The heartworm that they have been doing, it tests for the 3 tick-borne illnesses in dogs, and if one of them comes back positive, then that dog has to go on an antibiotic.
Can you do that, or the vet has to do that?
As far as the heartworm, they can probably order it and give it to us.
That's what I'm saying.
The only thing that I'm not licensed to do is give a rabies. I could give a Bordetella shot, I can give a parvovirus Semper shot, I can give puppies all their shots, but rabies has to be given by them.
Okay.
I hate to feel like I'm rushing us along, but anyway,
But I will get Dollins, like I said, I'll get Dollins listed and get it back to y'all, and they're the only ones I'm really waiting on. That way, whenever y'all have a discussion about it, it's something y'all can consider.
and before you go, Rachel, would you like to introduce yourself to some of us? I don't know if y'all met Rachel Showalter.
Hello, I'm Rachel. I'm her assistant.
Well, y'all even dressed the same.
No, she's been a great help. It's been a tough month or so. It's been 25 puppies in the shelter, so we got 3 left.
We're getting
I'm ready for 2 puppies to find homes.
Well, we thank you all, and thanks for the report today, and we will need to look into, I know the animal committee, I guess, is Dan and Will, and but we do need to look at what we've been paying for some of these vet fees and try to get the cost down on them, so we'll be working on that with you guys.
I appreciate it.
And thank you all, and we invite all of you here to go visit them, go check them out if you haven't. So thank you all. Next, Brian, if you got anything to add to us?
How y'all doing? Just want to say, when a basketball league that we had for youth basketball here, we had about 330 kids that playing in the league. But the only problem I have is gym time. So I like to get the court and maybe a facility really to have multiple sports and not only basketball, we got pickleball and volleyball, a lot of even adult people in our community ask about volleyball, pickleball, and other stuff. And also this year we're gonna have 2 tournaments this year. In the baseball, we usually only get a regional tournament. This year we're also gonna get a state tournament for baseball this year. But then I talked to the soccer president. He act like they do most of their sign-ups online. They're gonna have big numbers on there.
You all right?
Too.
You need some help? Have you looked into, I know Spencer Christian has a full-size gym. I don't know what any of the other churches do, and they do rent it out. I mean, pricing it by the county and see if.
They wouldn't. Now, they do, I guess they do have some members that goes to that church, that they do practice there too. It's just with, I think they got 38 teams and
Yeah, I was
a
just
small
saying
kind
to
of
kind of
practice.
get some relief.
I use almost all the gyms here
What
already.
about there's a community church building back here? Is that?
Yeah, I talked to Chad about that one too. He said he's really wanting to rent that out, but it was a price that even what we take in, there would be no way that we could probably.
Of course, actually, I think that was over in the new building, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they sold this.
They'll hold this one right now.
Yeah, over in the back part where I think Polish or something.
Yeah,
I think they rent that backside out like 3,600 a month.
I think it's only 38.
Yeah, that might be it.
Do you know of any teams that could possibly use our new radio area? Do we look like we're gonna have teams fighting for park space?
I have talked to some of the coaches that I know of, and I told them that we got this space over, and a lot of them are travel teams that probably wouldn't be using that space over, but I told them now, the league itself, the Smith County Baseball League, get first priority over the practice facility now. I told them I need a list of what days you gonna practice.
Yeah.
So if that, field is open, somebody else can use that field.
Yeah.
Right, we don't wanna get first priority confused with only ground.
Yeah.
What would it take to get like the practice fields over in the new park? You know, I know you rolled it down, I think, and it's sort of like putting bases on it.
Just getting somebody out there to do the dimension of the field and pretty much, I mean, we
Could y'all probably do that in-house, Brian?
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe, some I know the parents a year ago were telling me you could put up temporary fences, possibly,
Yeah.
I'm thinking an orange snow fence, or I don't know what a
Yeah.
temporary fence is supposed to look like in sports, but, you know, we could possibly, you know, look about doing that, maybe get some costs on what that is, and we'll discuss it here and try to decide the best way to move forward.
Now, I talked to the past park director, Randy Wise, and he already said he'd help me any way that I need him to, so he knows a lot about doing the dimensions of each field.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if we got it to the point where all we gotta do is lay it out, you know, then, I would like to charge you with a plan, or, you know, with the task of putting a plan together with you and Randy or whatever. Come back to Scott or me, one of the two, provide us with a list, this is what we need, this is our time frame, this is what we're gonna do. And then us as a fiscal court can see if we can make sure we get you the funding and the resources to do what you need to do so we can get the ball rolling. Let's not discuss this 3 months from now, let's get the ball rolling now.
You got a good plan. And with all this additional mowing you're gonna have to do, how are you on your mowers?
I'm probably gonna be looking to get some new mowers, cause they got some hours on them. And I talked to Skaggs, and they said they're right there in between the hours right now where you probably need.
How many hours you talking?
Huh?
How many hours you talking on?
1,500 or 1,700 hours.
Is both of them about the same?
Yeah.
Both of them got the same hours?
We thought both at the same time, didn't we?
Yeah.
Are you having any problems with them?
Small problems. I mean,
Nothing major as yet?
No, not yet.
I mean, what if we were to add one new mower? You got enough people, I guess, to operate them? Of course, Karen, we always get your extra folks, but, I mean, if we were to get one additional mower, because we're gonna add 15, 20 acres to mow. So maybe one additional mower, and then have a new rotation where maybe every couple of years we get another new
Yeah.
mower.
Yeah, what, something in there, or rotate.
Yeah, but,
We could have 3 going in and rotate next year, the older one, and trade it in.
every year, every other
Those
year.
have some pretty good trade-in values
A
on
lot of
them.
them mowing companies do have a program like that.
I don't know
I
if
know
I'm
we
better
talked
off
to that real, but
Or sometimes,
all new every time.
just get all
You know,
new
you
every
can get
time.
decent money at $1,500, and you only gotta add $4,000 or $5,000.
Well, don't a lot of them mowing companies, don't they do like lease,
I don't know if they lease them. I mean, I'm sure you can lease them, but
like on those big commercial mowers, I thought they did like a lease, and then once the lease was up, they turned it back in, they got 3 of them.
I wonder if it would be beneficial, like down there, the big parts, or just say off the radio, like if you bought one of them 12-foot Toros or something, that one going,
Pull behind.
wherever your biggest area is that you know.
Well, let's all look into
If it's
it.
open.
Let's look into it. Of course, I mean, you know, y'all know how it is with the big one. You can get a big, but then you gotta come in with the little one and get everything that you can't get, of course.
I'm
There ain't much you can't get.
I really like the 60 inch because it's easy to trailer, you know, you can move it on a small trailer, you can get in there on the gates and stuff easy with it, you know, that's just my opinion.
You know, 20 acres, it's
So, look how many hours it's gonna be.
You just make a couple more passes.
time is money.
But,
They're already mowing the fairgrounds, the 2 parks, around the recycling center. I mean, pretty much any Dutchess County, they're mowing right now, so.
That's a bunch.
Somebody's got to do it.
Well, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying we're gonna add 24 acres to it, I guess.
Brian said it ain't no big deal.
Ain't no problem.
I like your attitude, Brad.
let us know while it's February, and we'll try to get you what you need.
All right.
All right,
Maybe get
thank
some
you,
prices
Brian.
on mowers.
Yeah, that probably start with that, get some prices on some mowers. Daniel, you're up next. I tell you what, this is working out good, because this replaces our committee reports. So,
I don't really have nothing, I'm still just getting used to the job.
All right,
Trying to
good day.
Trying to find everything and just get tools as I need them.
Well, we're glad you're here.
You got enough tools now?
No.
No.
But I'm just getting them as the job, every job's different.
You give us a list.
Right. I've been making a
What
list.
you need to get.
I get with Brian and Todd at the road department if I need something.
yeah.
The conservative ones.
We've been taking care, they've been doing real good, all working together, to take care of things. But you guys know that we had a water main break and flooded the room here. And Daniel's got the closet all fixed up now where that shouldn't happen again. This wall was not insulated and the water heater's up in the attic,
Oh, well, that's a surprise.
so, but it's all fixed now.
One thing we ought to have Dan to do sometime soon is, maybe another month, turn the water on at Waterford and see what needs fixed.
See how many things explode out there?
Yeah, well,
Because it's gonna be,
we're gonna have to,
yeah.
yeah, we need to get that going in advance of when the moms and dads are there with their children.
Maybe go down there about the first of March.
I get with Brian and,
Yeah,
you know,
last year we rented a whole lot of porta potties. We need to try to keep it, especially when we have bathrooms,
Right.
but,
We also fixed it all at once.
And then it froze again.
Just to let y'all know, what I talked to Daniel, talked to Scott about it, but I'm gonna look about maybe getting him a service truck or a van to replace his truck, try something new, just something. He's got a tool truck, and the truck he's got, really can't use the bed to really haul anything.
Can't haul 6 foot fighter.
Yeah. and
Oh,
So, and what I was gonna do is take his truck and give it to the recycling center to replace carrying the red for what we're having some trouble out of, so. Anyway, that's gonna be something that's applied to.
well, maybe we can find something to use until we.
Yeah, that's what the
Yeah.
plan is.
Until we can get around and find
That's
something
the
else.
plan is. Planning to go out there and spend 50,000 on this truck.
hopefully, what, 8 or 10 or less.
Yeah.
Why not? Everybody else gotta have new trucks and multiple.
And Karen's red truck is probably on its last leg.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a $2,500 truck, and we just spent $1,700 on it.
Quit dogging it.
No, it's a $3,900 truck.
Yeah,
It's probably still only worth 1,700.
But, so anyway, all right, Daniel, we appreciate all the, he's got a routine of maintenance in every building, checking the filters, signing the fire extinguishers, just taking care of all of our assets.
Sounds good.
We've got a system going, so. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Karen, you're up. You have anything?
We're just putting along, truck, we done the work on it.
Is it okay now?
No. No.
What's wrong with it now?
Oh my gosh.
Wake us up.
Just hold it like it's hanging.
We just set it there.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, it's, yeah, I think they should have done all the full packs instead of just two of them. But, I mean, after you give it a little bit of gas, it'll actually go on and start and go on.
The antifreeze leak fixed?
Do what?
Antifreeze leak fixed?
I've never seen it freeze, I'm sorry.
Okay.
And
I'm
that
gonna
was,
say it's
it's come back even. And so, yeah. Daniel's working on maybe, we're waiting on the board to try to get us some heat in there.
Well, you're not without heat. It's
Not without heat, they got the turbo heater.
And the ceiling heat.
Well, I don't like to burn it, because as soon as you open the door, it's all gone. Just saw it, cut down on the propane up there.
Yeah, I heard it was one time, you heard electric pallet jack maybe.
Well, I went out and looked, and we're gonna have some rotational changes when we get our new animal shelter built. It's gonna free up some space. And then I think, all the departments are gonna fight over the space. Of course, Karen's already trying to stake her claim, but,
It used to be mine.
regardless, in her area, of course, we use a skid loader to move the boxes out. And I had talked about maybe getting a pallet jack, an electric pallet jacks, when you're not pulling, so you get the cardboard box, take it to the door, dump it off, and then let the skid loader stay outside. But going over looking, she has to store her, like, paper blocks. You gotta keep them inside. The cardboard, they've been setting it outside. So when the truck comes, they load up the wet cardboard, then the company hauls it to Louisville somewhere, right?
Around the road.
And they dry it out, then they repackage it, I guess, and then they pay us. It would really be good if we had a place to store that cardboard, and we could build a small hoop barn. We could wait till that's freed up and move some stuff around. I'm trying to clear out her area. When you pull in the back door by the dock, there's a baler where they bale paper. All right, so a guy's standing there, you drive in, you go around it a little bit, and then there's blocks of paper sitting there. There's a shelf on the back wall, and then there's the tub where they use engine oil. So we could possibly move that baler into the corner where the engine oil tub thing is, and that would free up that wall to where it wouldn't be so tight with the skid loader. But we need to have a place to put cardboard and that paper.
Including all the animal shelter.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna make money, it
I
should
mean,
start
we don't
on
have
that
to pay
side.
anything right now about it.
Can I ask you a couple quick questions?
Yes,
Where does this cardboard ultimately go? Shelbyville, or where's it going to get?
Goes from by the road.
Oh, you get tried,
Get right out, and then they make it in the bottom, and it's one, place.
so it just goes to that place.
Yes, yes. But when they get it, they charge us to drop it, dry it, and then after they throw it,
Well-
we get the money.
Couldn't we just get like, like 4 or 5 bales at a time, and just take it in there, and we could keep it inside and dry, and then we get 4 or 5 bales and just hold on the damn trailer? take it
no
back?
more than we get for the cardboard. I mean, we ain't into cardboard to be a moneymaker. We just into the cardboard.
Well, it sounds like
because
we're in it to be a money loser.
the state of Kentucky wants you to have a recycling program. You pretty much got to have a recycling program.
I know guys that are getting rid of cardboard for $800 a piece, make money.
They're getting that much?
Yes, and I understand we're not in business to make money, but to Mike's point,
They're getting
If we're doing it.
800, what, for a semi-load?
no, a 20-foot gooseneck load.
Is that-
Right,
is
but
that-
So like a semi-load would be like 16
It would
bucks.
sound like we need a different, we might need to shop around and find another buyer. We need that
you
buyer.
need to talk to
Well,
him.
he hauls it, Tyler hauls it to the same place that I take it, that I get it shipped to.
Good call,
He
too.
just does less. I do 38 to 42 bales at a time, where Tyler takes,
20 or something.
yeah, 20.
Is it dry?
Yes.
But it's like, how much money are you willing to dump into storage? It just
Well, we're not dumping any money, we're just
Yeah.
gonna be open put it up to the animal shelter.
Yeah, that thing over there. And then, you know,
Well, okay, well, we could use that space for something else. Let's say you wanna convert that into something else that we need space for, but now you're gonna have, but now you can't, so, because we're gonna store cardboard in it, so now you're gonna have to rent another space that we may need for something else down the road. But essentially, you're paying to store cardboard.
What do we gonna need a space for, that we don't have a need for right there, that's already right there, you got the recycling center here in that building right there, so.
How long does it take you to get that many bales of cardboard roughly, just guessing?
You just send 2 loads out a month.
And those are 40 bales of each load?
38, 42. The last load I sent out the other day was
That's worth storing cardboard.
69,000 pounds.
I didn't have any idea it had that much.
Of course, like over Christmas, you got 8 bales in one weekend, right?
Yes.
During Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. I've been talking about it.
Well, we're paying them to break it apart, dry it, re-bale it, and then we get paid, so then they take their fee out of what all that, deduction basically, it's like selling grain, you get a bunch of dirty grain, you don't pay the deduction. For all that, so.
Right
Did
now,
you store it all in that building? Does that building big enough?
Well, I mean,
it used to be.
I mean, 80 bales, that's a big,
I asked Karen, and I'm bragging on Karen, she does pretty good getting these grants and things to buy stuff. You know, like the little conveyor you got, that trailer, your skid loader you said you got from a grant.
All my equipment.
Remember we bought a grapple bucket, she's got a grapple bucket and the grant's gonna pay for that, or
Well,
already
we
paid
could
for
get a
it.
grant for a building.
Okay, that's what I asked her about, getting a grant for a building. And it might be a stretch. It might be a stretch, but we could take, y'all play along here with me, I'll be brief. You could take some blocks and we could put someone advised her that if you set it in the ground, they ain't gonna pay for it. But if you build something temporary, they possibly could. So we set us 3 sides of blocks. We build a roof over top of it of some sort, probably $1,500 to $2,500. Or we could get a 30 by 40 hoop barn that probably cost $5,000-ish. And it would be there, we could use it, and then once we move around, you know, I don't know if EMS has stuff, the coroner could possibly park his van in there, we could put the sheriff's boat, we could still have that camper, or, I know there's a camper and a boat over there. They could be put inside if we weren't putting cardboard, but it's not like it'd be a total waste, if we wanted to invest a little bit of money in my whole concern of even having this conversation is to try to make where they're working right now safer by getting that stuff out.
I
And
think
we probably need to get
30
it
by
out,
40, she had that filled up.
we need to get it out anyway.
Well, try to figure out though, you know what we get paid for wet cardboard, figure out, tell them you wanna start hauling dry cardboard, just tell them and see what they'll pay you. That'd be the biggest thing to decide how much money we can spend.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
And it's just like, there's no reason why we should be losing that much, but it's something, are we losing a lot or are we not losing?
I think it's substantial, but just try to get the numbers for us for the next meeting.
Because you're paying that drying fee.
The
You're
area,
losing 60%.
It's that much you can pay the building. Well, no, I agree totally.
the area, off to towards Sweezy's farm, is that where you store your bales? Is that concreted? Did we ever get that concrete?
No, it's gravel.
Okay, that's an area that we could look at, is actually put like a lean-to roof, you know, off.
They wouldn't pay, if you built it on a building, they wouldn't pay.
Well, we don't have to build it on, we can have a soft
talking about
patch
going
as it's called.
to-
But, you know.
We'll put tarp across
But we have room over there, because we made that lot a lot bigger last year. Y'all remember, part of it was still in grass. Karen just moved the same blocks and Todd brought some rock, and now you got, I don't know, a couple thousand more square foot of space or more.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm on board. I was just asking like a couple educational questions. I didn't want to build like a $50,000 facility to save $1,500 a year in cardboard.
We'll get Karen get us some answers on that dry cardboard, and we'll move forward.
Okay. We just gotta take into consideration hauling, salaries.
Yeah.
repair, and all that good stuff.
Well, they can still haul it, it'd just be dry other than that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, all my stuff used to stay in there in the 3 days. I could fill that whole area up until Gary took that back.
Now,
As
one,
long as you're loading, off that bay because you just go in, pick it up and come back through the building. Straight through the building to the dock.
Can you see what it's costing us to pay through the haul too? Just to find out what they're charging us to come pick it up.
She probably knows.
$476 a load.
I could probably hold.
And that's me low, that's me low.
Well, I'm just thinking, if it's only 2 loads a month, and we got a semi setting up at the road more.
Especially if they was going to get blocks or something.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Now that, we did look at that, when did we look at that, Jim? Last year about, let them set a semi out there and us looking, but didn't we have to build a dock or something, or a ramp or?
You gotta be able to get up on it,
Yeah.
you know.
All you can't load it, you can just load it from the side.
You're thinking the box trailer.
I'm talking about box.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the flatbed from the roadway.
No.
Because sure enough, you reload it on a flatbed, we take off, and there'll be a thunderstorm, and rain 2 inches, time it gets there, and it's all wet. So, you know,
I mean, it's just a chance if you don't haul from the 70% chance rain.
We can, but we'll look at that, we'll look at that. Y'all have any other things for Karen?
It's great times up here. Anything that, you know.
Anything you can think
That's
of.
your job.
Well, no, well, I mean, I've got the trailer for usage and I've got,
Hey, you write a grant for everything that you can write a grant for.
Yeah, well, we already discussed the other day, I figured I hope y'all are interested in having another little tire amnesty.
Yes.
Because we won't have that big one this fall.
no.
So I would really like us to possibly have one again this spring and one this fall.
We just gotta pay out our stuff.
But we can get $4,000
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So that's one grant that I told her I thought we for sure wanted to apply for. Y'all agree with that?
yeah, we've had that for years running.
All right.
All right. Yes, sir.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Got where I was-
I was just saying, look at them all.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't care if you think, I don't know if this will fit because this is just like a grant for a new toilet seat. Apply for it.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a way to make that money
Well,
work.
Karen does pretty good at those recycling grants.
Okay.
So,
Oh, I know what it was. On the letter abatement money, that's calendar year, right?
Yes, that's calendar year. We're working
Did
on
we
that.
have to give any back?
I don't know, I'm still working on the figures because the annual report's not due till March 1st, so I'm
Okay.
still working on that.
Gotcha.
yeah, do you remember?
It's reporting
We
right
hadn't
now.
written that check yet, have we?
We haven't wrote a check yet, but we also got some expenses to figure out where Karen or the road guys, different ones have done things that are litter abatement related.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
picking
so-
up couches and
Yeah, we
mattresses
got,
off the side of the
figure
road.
right now, that new dumpster that we got down there, the little one, we'll be able to, use the fee for it towards the grant because we're using it for litter that normally would be on the road.
Yeah.
Or sometimes picked up off the road.
I'm sure we need to get those numbers together.
Yes, they go on the March 1st report.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, thank you,
All
Karen.
right.
All right, Stephanie, you're up. This is really working good.
Friendly tax collector, I'm not asking for anything, do y'all have any questions?
Friendly tax collector.
That's me, I try to be friendly, and occasionally there's one person we're gonna have to be a little more lean with, hopefully it'll bring me into compliance. I try really hard not to do that.
Here and there. You don't have any questions?
Do a good job.
Thank you, I'm trying.
I'm good.
I have no complaints.
Good, you doing good?
Oh, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Easy. Julie, do you have anything?
As far as office wise, or you
Yes.
want my zoning stuff?
No, office stuff.
I don't,
This is day-to-day business time.
I don't think I have anything to report. I can answer any questions, but I don't think I have anything.
You need it, I don't know if we discussed a different printer, copy machine. You got all that covered that suits you?
I think we're good at the moment.
Okay.
You said we're gonna do this every month?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, as we get going along, it'll go quicker too, so. Or longer.
Yeah.
Probably not longer.
Or way longer.
Or way longer, all right.
You gotta
Chris?
let Scott's place optimism.
Gotta have optimism.
Can't use them with negative.
Be a farmer your whole life, you Colonel Hopkins.
This update, for the current fiscal year, we collected just over $592,000. For the calendar year, we were on run number 192. In the early stages of planning our 50th anniversary open house celebration thing, looks like it's going to be May 25th. And hoping next fiscal court meeting, we'll be bringing back 2 candidates to hire for full-time who interviews this week. We'll have something to remove the part-time people.
All right, any questions for Chris? All right. Thank you.
He's trying to get out of here.
Thank you, Chris. Chris is in town all the time, so he keeps us abreast of things really easily. Brittany?
What was, just real quick, the switching the batteries over to electric, is that in motion?
We're still waiting on the quotes from
So
Local
hook it
Metro on the actual hookup portion. We got the quotes we brought in for the hardware, so we're waiting on the install quotes.
All right, okay.
Yeah, but the key ingredient is that all the sirens are working. Thank you. Stacy, that's one thing that we have, how many tornado sirens, Chris, in the county? 9. And part of them are electric and battery backup, and then part of them are just batteries. And we were looking about running electric to the others, and it was gonna get up in the 20,000 range to get all that done, but, you know, we have already discussed there's value with those sirens. You know, they used to say that way people working outside would hear them, but where they are, and as loud as they are, you can hear them in your home, or you can hear them in your car, so they're good. Now, there's some areas of the county where they're a little void. So, but we're trying to stress that more and more as we move forward to make sure that we're doing all we can to alert our residents.
Since Brittany's up here, I can answer the siren thing real fast. Her and I had a conversation about the BRIC grant last week. That's something infrastructure grant. It's through the
Resilience, building resiliency.
So we're both looking into if we can purchase more sirens on the BRIC grant. I provided you that map last week before. So we kind of studied it in the office. And it looks like with adding about 6 sirens, especially if Bullitt County will let us tap onto the one at the Mount Washington Firehouse across from Country Cancer. If we can add 5 or 6 sirens, I can't remember off the top of my head, we should get better coverage than anybody around us besides maybe Metro. So we're gonna look at BRIC grant, see if we can maybe fund that with those.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so the paper you have in front of you has just a brief overview of January achievements and then February goals for the next 30 days, things that I'll be working on. I've successfully closed out the generator grant, which is the grant that is for the ambulance building, which has secured $44,409. I have submitted the reimbursement for the courthouse roof insurance, paid half of that. AOC reimbursed $44,032. Additionally, I have finalized the flex reimbursement, your first one, which was $147,688. At your last meeting, you will discuss the RAISE grant, which KIPDA will be administering for us. That will connect the high school and Rachel Park sidewalks. I do have a meeting with QK4 tomorrow to discuss design, scope of work, and cost. Diligent efforts in debris management for disaster declaration 4540 have been recognized and reimbursed in the amount of $16,000. This is thanks to your road department and emergency management. So when we had that wind episode and we had to rent a chipper and all of our guys were going out picking up debris, FEMA did reimburse that money. Additionally, sorry, I lost my place here. We closed out the Rachel Lighting Project, which brought $49,500 finally, and that opens up a random water grant potentially for another lighting project for your parks. And the distillery regulations are now in the hands of the Planning and Zoning Commission, but will not be formally reviewed until February 15th. This initiative was led by Lee Santa and Julie Sweezy and marks a significant step forward in our regulatory framework. So this would give distilleries the groundwork to come to Spencer County. We also had a meeting with the fire chief and Julie, Scott and myself to discuss brick houses and any other water sources that would need to be included in those regulations should there be a fire. And bluegrass fiber will be coming to Taylorsville State Park. They've obviously been here several times. I do encourage you all to go to that as well, look at their demonstration. They have reached out to all of our representatives, asked for representation. I believe the governor's office will be there. Yes.
Well, I just want to back up one. So that it just says distillery regulations. Does that include wineries and
Distillery, brewery,
breweries?
winery, yes.
Tasting rooms, and I mean, it's a real good start. I mean, Julie may elaborate on it some, but we put, a lot of time has been put into it, and they've researched counties around us, and it's just a starting point. And we'll probably be adding and building upon it after we do get it established. So,
At least included in receiving a copy of that, just so we know what the plan is on looking like.
well, go ahead. It has to start with them, and then we adjust.
I didn't say I was gonna interject, I was gonna read it. I don't know what's going on.
I can get you a copy of it if you want to look it over, but ultimately it goes to them, they're gonna take it apart, they're gonna use their experience and their
Right.
expertise in zoning, and then it'll come to court.
Well, we can, I'm sure we can send to them, Julie.
Well, I mean,
Is that a problem?
Once they get it, and they critique, then it comes to us for a first reading, and we critique it, and then we can send it back at that point. If we want to critique it, right? Isn't that work?
Well, it is. The only thing that gets kind of crazy is when you've got so many different drafts floating around and trying to keep everybody on the same set of drafts.
You'll probably
So-
never hear nothing from me. I just wanted to
Yeah.
read what was the initial was presented.
Right. Well,
I'll show it to you.
yeah, I would say I don't mind to give you a copy of them. But I was gonna talk about it when I got there for zoning. But, I did give it to the planning commission, just, it was their first time of getting them Thursday night. So there will be, discussions at our next meeting. I've advertised it as the actual public hearing for them, for this upcoming meeting.
Well, I just know that this is paving a new way for Spencer County. This is gonna be a big thing, and I just wanna be informed on what happens as it goes along, not just get the updates after things that already happened. So that was just shoot me an email of what the current is going on, and just because I think it's a big step for Spencer County. Putting zoning like this and planning forward, forward that deals with this type of stuff. And I want to be as knowledgeable as I can be so that when I have questions from my constituents, that I can not look like a dummy. Can't give them whatever it
How
is.
about this, Julie? What you give the planning and zoning, if you could email that to the magistrates.
Okay.
And you guys keep in mind that they're meeting on the 15th.
But I'm not gonna interfere. You ain't gonna hear nothing from me. You don't have a job to do. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I just wanted to know what you're looking at.
Right. And what they get, on the 15th may completely change. I mean, they may change it from top to bottom, it may not look anything the same. So
Right.
that's how new it is. I guess that's the best way to say it, that's how.
And I
new it
guess
is.
this, and I'm just, anytime that they plan and zone decides they're gonna make an update to that, if you could send that out, then we could just see, that way we're up to the press on what's
And I
happening.
mean, I guess a good comparison would be the townhome regulations that we did last year. Remember, we hashed out a lot of good conversation here and made some updates and changes to it. And it'll work the same way.
But in my opinion, this is bigger than that.
Well,
It is.
It just, people are good, once the word gets out that this is going to planning and zoning, people are gonna have questions, and I wanna be able to have something to tell them. So,
And along those same lines, Julie, I know we've talked about it, is whenever you guys have a preliminary plat of a development, before that preliminary plat is okayed by planning and zoning, that's a done deal. We can't make any changes after that point. But I've always asked that each one of us get a copy of that plat. A big set, fine, whatever. Get it to us instead of each one of us coming to you asking for a copy. I think that would just be.
What I emailed over this time for my stuff, I'll add those in there.
yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
Okay, they were in there.
Yeah, and I thought that was a good addition.
Because you asked me to do that at the last meeting, so those were
I know it ain't a big one, man, they're hard to read. These little ones are
Sorry,
hard to
Brittany, I think
read.
we've went
Yeah, you wanna come up?
with the burgundy. But yeah, well, okay, finish with Brittany, y'all feed on me next.
All right, go ahead, Brittany,
Okay.
we're sorry.
Next 30 days, I'm gonna be applying for a grant for pickleball court. I'm gonna be closing out for Shears, East River, and Goose Creek emergency road aid projects. I have a meeting with QK4 and FEMA regarding the Old Teddy Bridge project and environmental standards. We have a new website that's gonna be launching. I'm gonna be getting with some of the county employees that actually help manage the website, Julie Stevie, Stephanie Smith, those people, so that we can ensure a smooth transition process, and I will be finishing employee benefits. Does anyone else have any questions?
I have a question. You said something about meeting with QK4 for the sidewalk project.
Yes.
That design that we had the other day, who did that?
Well, the city did that, and we shouldn't have to reinvent that wheel. It'll just be like from the road going to the football field down.
Okay, so we're not gonna pay, because I think we pay the engineer too much money to pay to do the same thing that's already done. Not gonna
We're
happen.
gonna talk about what needs to be done. We have a
Yeah.
9 a.m. meeting for disaster declaration, 4540 with Chris and Todd, 10 a.m. with FEMA on Old Teddy Bridge, and 10:45 to discuss the sidewalks.
So the sidewalk's just gonna be what's not on paper yet.
Actually, from the
Yeah.
end of the football field down to the right field.
All that on paper is done, the city paid for that.
That's why I was wondering.
Yeah, we don't have to do that over, absolutely.
Perfect.
I had one other question, the meeting with Bluegrass Fiber at the State Park is this week, what's the date and time?
Thursday, 1 o'clock?
Thursday at 1?
Yes.
1 o'clock.
What date is that? Days of what?
Today's the 5th.
The 8th.
8th.
Yes.
And it's up at the Lake State Park.
Yeah, you sent an email on that.
I did, yeah, so they'll have representation from the FCC, several other representatives' offices. I believe Joe Williams will be coming out, so. I'm
Yeah,
not
he
sure
said he
Stacey
was.
Ruffin, if he'll be able to come out or not, but we will be having that out there. It'll be a big event, so.
Where's it gonna be held at, Park? Pavilion or pavilion?
At the main building.
Pavilion.
Pavilion,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, this
I
is,
said one more.
Hey, if I'm gonna demonstrate some internet, I'm gonna go to the highest place in the county. That's all I'm saying.
this is the
Hopefully that
one
won't park it.
that's up on our road department tower,
Yeah.
that's shooting out toward Little Mound and Mount Eden Way.
This is the one with the gas changer like 7 pounds?
Yes.
Oh, they already got it up on there.
Yep, and they're gonna show us how good it works. What all this is on this day.
Oh, there you go.
And I will give the fellow credit, he was up here working, and he sent all the invites out to everyone. So, they're hoping it's a good success, and so are we. It's the first in the Commonwealth of this technology. At home state.
We're just trailblazers.
We got it, so, all right.
Like Lewis and Clark of internet.
That took just about an hour, and that was time for us. Next is plan and zoning, Julie.
Okay, so I want to explain, it didn't sound hasty earlier or pushy or whatever. The way KRS 100 explains in there, if you read it, the planning commission does the public hearing on the applications. Therefore, all the public can come in, the applicant has their right, their time to speak, and that way, everybody gets to hear each other's, testimony, whatever. So that's why when it gets to you all, you're supposed to strictly go by the recommendations come to you with planning and zoning, along with the information that was provided in the minutes, to get a good detailed discussion of what happened in each minute, each meeting. And that's how you are supposed to make your decision. That's why they don't want you to take additional comment, because sometimes maybe the applicant's the only one present, or the opposition may be the only one present, something like that. So that's why I was saying no, that we're not supposed to take public comment during the zoning portion.
Yeah, sure.
Is why.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
And she included KRS 100 in the book, page 10, 11, and 12.
What page are we on here?
10, 11, 12 is the KRS, but she's on page 5.
Well, and I provided that because we had discussed that at a previous meeting, you know, if fiscal court wanted to overturn a decision, or if there were a tie vote that came to you from the planning commission, here's how you all get it, and how it works through. So
Does the KRS say anything about, before y'all's decisions are made, the discussion that happens from this body of people? Like if something's coming to planning and zoning? And so it's
Not
talked
sure
about
I
in
understand what you're
a
saying.
public setting beforehand? Like if Jim was gonna develop a farm, I'm just saying, Jim, you know, we can't come, I'll just say, to make it easier, we can't come to the planning and zoning meeting and speak on behalf of any of it, correct or wrong?
Well, they recommend that you not. There, you know,
That's
there's a
just a
point that it's
recommendation.
called ex parte communication, is a nice little word they like to use. That if you take comment from a citizen, or you go talk to the citizen about a zoning thing that's coming up, you cannot show that you're leaning one way or the other. In other words, your decision is supposed to be made solely on what you get as far as a record from the planning commission. You know, if you have a constituent in your district coming to you and you're, oh, yeah, you know, I don't want this either, I'm gonna vote it down, or, oh, that sounds great, let's vote for it. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to give them any preconceived decision out in the public sector. It's supposed to be made right here.
But as a citizen, we can do that with no repercussions or anything, right? Versus, you're saying that.
Well, that's my question, because the confusion,
I think as a citizen, just like Mike spoke, as a citizen, we can do that.
I spoke as a citizen,
Right. Yeah.
and I
We have
just,
that right.
talked
at
about,
planning and zoning,
yeah, and I spoke as a citizen, and I just voiced concerns that I had as a citizen that lived in close proximity to the proposal in my district where I reside.
my question is kind of chicken things too. It was brought up that no one here should speak at planning and zoning, you know, on that matter, so I was curious.
I mean, if you go to your training sessions, ask them that, that's what they're gonna tell you. They're gonna recommend that you don't. Just that way it doesn't show that you're leaning one way or the other before you actually get into this meeting where you're going by the recommendations made to you. But you're out there, you know, to support the community. You're out there to represent the community. So it's hard, you know.
But
I think you can take the comments out, just don't lead them to think you're gonna vote for it or you're gonna vote against it.
Now, a resident calls one of us, or a resident invites us as an individual to their home to discuss something with us, that should be no problem.
That, or if you think it's gonna get you to where it is a problem, make them know, say, you know, that's probably not a good idea, because if I do that, that could lead me in a position where I won't get to vote.
Yeah.
I think the main thing, this is the way I interpret it, Corey will tell you that show some five people, different people will all interpret 5 different ways. But my interpretation is when it talks about ex parte contact is they don't want us as the fiscal court members having private conversations with members of the planning and zoning committee that's not in a public forum, thus creating the ex parte contact and bills being made that's not in the public view. So my thing is, as long as you don't get up on your soapbox and you have some legitimate things that you want to say, and you do it in a full public forum, then I think that we can coexist just fine.
But that's the main thing, you're gonna talk to people are gonna come up and talk to you, but just don't give them the feeling that you're gonna vote for it or you're gonna vote against it.
Yeah.
You need to stay very neutral, it's okay,
And-
give me the facts, I'll take the facts, but try to not.
Yeah, and to echo what Julie was saying, it's kind of a gray area whether speaking, I think as a citizen it's probably permissible, but you know it's kind of a gray area, so proceed with caution. Obviously, you don't want to be seen speaking in your official capacity as magistrate or member of the court, but certainly you can attend and be within your rights to attend. It's just obviously. Use discretion if having questions.
The key is you can't commit to nothing. Don't commit.
this maybe didn't, but, I don't know if this court's been through a second reading and some, development like this or not, but would you go through the steps of what the commission recommended this? When we come back to vote, what kind of options do we have to accept those, period, and go with it? Or if we do want to add something and send it back, could you kind of run through that process for us?
Well, I mean, you could send it back, but I don't think that is necessary. I mean, if you see what planning and zoning has sent to you and you wanna add binding elements or conditions or something like that, I'm not sure you would have to send it back to the planning commission. I think you can make that.
If we made a motion to put binding elements on any plat, and everyone here agrees with it, we all vote yes, it's a done deal.
I believe so. I mean, I don't know that you have to send it back to the planning commission. I think you can, and like I said, I'm gonna rely on Corey on this stuff too. The planning commission made their recommendation. If you wanna add to it, I think you can.
I think, and again, I remember, Hochstrasser, when we went through that process, the commission sent it to us, and we put some binding elements on it, or we made some comments and sent it back. They let it lay there until the 90 days was complete, then it was passed with what they said anyway. Is that not correct?
The time frame lies within you all. The clock doesn't start ticking until the planning commission's made their recommendation. They make the recommendation to you, and then the time starts ticking. So whatever time frame, what happened there was a matter of making an agreement between the fiscal court and the developer. And that's where the time was ticking on that one, was at that point. And that's one of the things on your all's recommendation sheets. The last thing tells you the final date you need to get the recommendation made. If not, whatever planning commission made will become, they get whatever they ask for.
Yeah.
So, but, I have two separate readings. The first one I'm gonna do, you all got these, in your books. I did include, survey plats. I do have larger copies of the one. So it's up to you all what you want, but we'll start with the first one, is the application of Robert Jones Jr. and Tabitha Jones requesting Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural on tract 12A consisting of 5.335 acres and Ag 1 agricultural to R3 residential on tract 12B consisting of 1 acre. Property is located at 1736 and 1760 Whitfield Lane. Commissioner Fowl made the motion to recommend the rezoning of the application of Robert Jones Jr. and Tabitha Jones requesting the Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural on 12A consisting of 5.335 acres and Ag 1 agricultural to R3 residential on tract 12B consisting of 1 acre located at 1736 and 1760 Whitfield Lane. The recommended land use map of the comprehensive plan recommends medium density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan, and there was no one there to speak against it. Commissioner Brown seconded that motion. There was no additional discussion. After a roll call vote, motion carried.
Motion to approve based on the facts and findings, recommendations of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
All right, we have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mike, seconded by Zach, to approve the recommendations of the Planning and Zoning Commission based on the facts and findings for the application of Robert and Jones and Tabitha Jones.
I have a question.
Yeah, any discussion?
I like that you attach these plats, but this is just, maybe in my ignorance, but how does this change I understand it's Ag 1 and it used to be 5 acres, but then when you have the 1 acre tract that says it's 12D and a mobile home, is that just like grandfathered in, or?
Okay, that goes back to land that's out there that the regulations has changed over the years.
Yeah.
Kind of what Bobby was talking about during general, from the public. So the property is on Ag 1 because years ago, Ag 1 could be 5 acres or more. And so on Ag 1 at that time, you could have your primary residence and then a mobile home for an immediate family member. And so that's why there's 2 dwellings on that tract.
So if that was on a
So-
100 acre tract, could you do the same thing? That's been Ag 1?
100 acres, yeah, you could have a primary residence and then a manufactured mobile home for immediate family member.
Is your question that you could break off that acre
Yes,
and zone it to R3?
that is my question.
Yes, I mean, that can be done. And the reason they are doing this is it's parents
I have no
that have
objection, I
the 5
just
acres,
was on
they're
to
doing the
understand
acre to
for a kid or
their
something.
daughter,
Yeah.
and she has to have a standalone loan to get her a new mobile home. She's pulling the old one out to put a new one in, and she has to own the property as collateral.
I understand.
I thought they were gonna put some kind of binding element on this. What happened with that?
Well, the people agreed to that, but really, it's kind of a moot point, because they can't put more than one on there anyway. That could be why it's like a motion, is it's just anchor, they can't put more
I
than
just
one
asked,
anyway.
anyway, I'm fine with it.
Now, we, currently, if you have 10 acres, you can put one mobile home, right? And like to what Will was saying, if you struck off an acre, that would leave 9 acres. You'd have to rezone this, add 2, and then this would be zoned R3.
Right.
Now, you couldn't put another mobile home on that 9 acres because you gotta have 10, correct?
No, you could, if it's zoned properly.
Well, you'd have to cut off an acre and zone it R3.
Or you could put one on the 9 acres zoned I-2.
So the secondary.
With a home. You live there and you put in a mobile home.
You could still do that on 9 acres if you get it done.
Okay. But you have, the zoning would be the R3.
One zoning would be R3, one zoning would be R2.
A2.
So if you want to start at like 100 acres and rezone it 99 times, you have a real fancy truck.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
All right, any other discussion on the motion on the floor? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, Julie?
Next, I have the application of M.R. Smith, Inc., Michael Morgan, Robert Smith, and Shelby Jean Smith requesting ag on agricultural to R1 residential on 47.94 acres located in the 1900 block of Whitfield Lane. Commissioner Hunt made a motion to recommend to deny the application of M.R. Smith, Inc., Michael Morgan, Robert Smith, and Shelby Jean Smith requesting zone change from ag1 agricultural to R1 residential on 47.94 acres located in the 1900 block of Whitfield Lane. The recommended land use map in the comprehensive plan recommends medium to low density residential. The change would not be in compliance with the comprehensive plan. Based upon the following findings of fact, everyone feels Whitfield Lane is severely in need of an upgrade. The developer's engineering firm, Palmer Engineering, discussed and recommended that all trees and brush within the right-of-way on Whitfield Lane be removed in the curves to provide additional sight distance for both traffic on Whitfield Lane and adjacent driveways. 15 curves were noted by the developer's engineer. Several discrepancies regarding the vehicles per day were noted. The developer's engineer noted 400 vehicles per day. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet noted 800 on old information and 1,200 on current information. If a subdivision of this proposed size is established, it will certainly change the vehicular per day to urban, and that has to be considered as well. The developer himself acknowledged that the road is dangerous. Several different areas of discussion were taking place as far as trying to decide if he was interested in trying to help fix the actual road so his development could go in, and he refuses to do so, which I think leaves us no choice but to deny the application the way it stands. So the original plat that was proposed as a preliminary dated August 2023 for this application will not be considered. Commissioner Brown seconded that motion. After further discussion, for comments, I read the row, so let's see, I asked them if we're doing the motion for the zoning and for the plat, even though the plat does not go to the court. Chairman Deepman said that was correct. So after a roll call vote, that motion carried. So the motion is coming to you as a denial.
I'll make a motion to deny the application before us for right now per the facts and findings and the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
All right, we have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mike, second by Dan, to deny the zoning of M.R. Smith, Michael Morgan, Robert Smith, and Shelby G. Smith on the track on Woodfield Lane.
Judge,
Any
if I-
discussion?
If I may, I'd also like to add into that motion that we will waive a future fee if they choose to reapply on the same piece of property.
All right, we can do it like this. If we get a second, we'll amend the motion or.
Dan second.
Got Dan second.
I think so, if we get a second.
Well, this is, if
You
we
wanna
do
do it
add
separate?
this, it would have to
You wanna
be
do
an
it separate?
amendment.
Let's just do it separate.
Or I was gonna do it after this.
Okay.
So any other discussion?
Was, did the planning and zoning commission already vote not to charge them any extra fees like you said? Did they vote to do that?
Well, they made a motion to waive, but they can't do that. So really, that's why it's part of your paperwork, is it's coming to you all as a recommendation,
Gotcha.
because you have to waive it.
Well, after we vote on this, I was gonna take that up as a separate motion. That's my plan. But I'll do it after you guys want to do it.
We'll do it.
I'll do it separate.
Take a roll call.
All right. Go ahead, Will.
I read through all these minutes and I don't like seeing farmland broke up no more than anybody here, but it asked here multiple times for a developer if he is willing to widen the road, and it says he's not interested in widening the state road. I don't see in here where he ever says he won't widen the county road. When it's asked, he says, I will not widen the state road. I think the county road needs to be widened, for sure, but I don't really see how you ask a developer to widen a state highway.
It doesn't join the property, it's.
Has it ever happened in Spencer County?
It happened where, like out here at Old South Plantation, widening had to take place.
On the state highway?
If the state guy will come out and say, if you want to do this, you gotta do this.
And it's coming off the state highway though. This is coming off of the county road. It's not coming off the
That's
state
the only
highway.
example that I know to give, but I do know that they'll request that you do upgrades.
The way I understood it was, not to do it, I don't mean to speak out of turn, but I think it was recommended by the engineering firm that not only previously made to the state, but also to the county portion of the roadway, that the developer had no interest in doing it either. But it's still a pretty good ways till you get back to where county meets state.
Yeah, I went and looked at it, this is so many questions.
And that was my understanding of it. And the only thing that I want to say is I don't think that we should go against the recommendation of planning and zoning. I feel like that they have put in plenty of legwork, tried to leave no rock unturned. They had tried to make sure that this was done to where that this development would not be a future problem for the county or the residents in that area, and they looked into the concerns of the developers to see that, that their needs were being met. My only concern is that the reason why that I agree with this recommendation. I think we should deny it, and I think that if they want to, obviously they have the right to come back to the table with another proposal, but we shouldn't be, there should be careful consideration with putting in a development at the end of the road like Woodfield Lane, and then one day the county will have to incur the cost of massive improvements later on, whenever I think us as a county, we should try to be a little bit more progressive and looking forward, and not letting these problems be created and that we're gonna have to pay for later. If the developers are gonna make the big money to develop big things like this, then the county shouldn't be on the hook for major upgrades,
Well,
almost.
the county's never gonna be responsible for the state highway, but.
Well,
And
I'm going to talk about the county portion.
Yeah,
Roadway.
I agree with what you're saying, just
Yeah.
I can think of other, like the new part of Old Crossing comes out on Hoscroft, and it's 8 foot wide.
I don't know how it works with the state, but I know that there's been instances, like you just pointed out in Hoscroft, where, we've had problems and we've had to fix it. I think this is a good opportunity of us to get ahead of a potential problem and just say, look, we're not gonna create this problem like we did on Hoscroft. So, that's why I made the motion as stated.
I
agree with Mike, and then here, the planning and zoning did, they did have, say, contact the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, get information from them on what has to be done, or what needs to be done, what their recommendations are, and then bring it back. So it's not like we're saying this is never gonna happen. It's just, under the circumstances, the planning and zoning decided that it shouldn't happen right now without the improvements, and I agree with that.
I agree with the planning and zoning, denying this for right now. What I really think needs to happen over there, and I went over there yesterday and drove around, and Stacy, I'm glad you're still here, because we have a state road in Bullitt County. The only way you get back in this place is, and there's over 200 homes back in there, 200 residents, 200 homes, so it probably could be 800 people that live back in this area of the county. The only way to get there is you gotta go to Bullitt County. There's no other way in. There's only one way in, these 200 homes. It's on a state road. From here to across the road over there is Bullitt County, and you can see the Spencer County sign where you enter Spencer County. So there's a few residents in Bullitt, but the rest are our residents. And lots of folks live in there. The state road ends, the yellow line ends, it turns to two white lines, and then where the state property ends, it's a county road.
There's no lines.
And with no lines, and then it's a narrow road, and there's houses, a few houses back there on the county portion. Well, Plum Creek runs at the bottom there, and I don't know what it takes to build a state road. I had a county judge tell me once before that you can't get the state to take over roads. But it would really be a blessing to all the folks that live there in the Whitfield area if there were if that state road would go on through, go down the bottom of the hill and cross the creek. And then you'd have two ways in and out. They had a gas leak back there a year or so ago, and for several hours, there was no way in or out. No fire truck, no ambulance, nothing. Kids had to sit at school and wait to get the road open. And I was looking, there's another road across the lawn, and I'm not sure if it's in Bullitt County or Spencer County. It looks like it's in Spencer County, but there's only 3 or 4 houses. And I thought, well, we could hook up there. It's not a good way to hook up there. But we have folks that are interested in developing a farm, and they'd all have to exit out the road that's there. And but there's several benefits if there were funding in some source. I don't know how it would look like, but if there was funding in some source to bridge, if the state could put a bridge and the state could build a road there, or the developers pay for part of it and the state take it over, or developers pay for all of it, I don't know. But it'd really be a good option for, in my opinion, for all the folks in there would have 2 ways in and out. I mean, it'll save lives down the road. So, but I know that, I hate to keep putting you on the spot, but I appreciate you staying with us.
Well, if you don't mind, if it's a state road, then I don't know, there could possibly be federal funding, but once that federal funding kind of crosses the state line, it's up to the governor and the General Assembly how that is spent. If it, if there's, say, a pot of money that goes for building a bridge on a state road, it then becomes the General Assembly's and the governor's decision as to how that pot of money gets divvied up. I can check to see with our staff member that does the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee if there is anything like that. But unfortunately, I think it would have to go to, like James Tipton. And
be on the state level and
I
not
think then as far as the decision on the spending.
Yeah.
But I was. You undershot that, I bet there's about 350 houses back there.
Is that right? I got the 200 out of some of your.
Calculating in my head.
I was reading through your minutes.
One of the residents said that.
200 homes, yeah.
Address.
It's a lot of homes back in there. And there's only one way in. It's I don't know if
Should
any
any
of
of
them,
them homes been allowed to be put back here? Is my question.
Well,
Should any of them homes been allowed to be put back here?
well, unfortunately, I think they were all just individual farms at one time. It was not, none of it was really put in as a development, I don't think.
of course, if you drive across,
Well, there was a couple, but they were more out on the state portion, right?
I mean, you travel Kings Church Road, it's pretty thick, you know, as far as residents off from one end to the other. Well, the end toward Plum Creek gets a little thinner, but, you know, toward the Bullitt County side especially, it's,
I think Kings Church Road or Plum Creek's worse than Whitfield Lane.
It's all different, it's all different. It's all, you take your life in your hands, no matter where you go. You know, in that area.
but I mean, it would be, what I'm more,
I agree with that.
the biggest concern I have is 300 and some homes, Jim, and only one way in and one way out. And I think us as a court, you know, it's our time to try to fix problems in the county.
You know, something, just, I'm just throwing this out here. Those people that lived up there, they bought their property, they built their homes, they live up there happily. We haven't had any complaints from anybody up there, except they did say it was inconvenient whenever the gas line broke and that there was some people cut off. But nobody is raising a complaint, and people, pretty much for the most part, just want to be left alone. That's why they went up there. Geographical isolation, they like country living. And you're talking about a developer that bought a piece of property at the end of this desolate living, that geographical nightmare. And we're literally sitting here talking about getting U.S. Congress involved, state senators involved. And the only reason why we're talking about it is at the end of the day is to try to gain access to a farm that a developer wants to develop.
I disagree with that observation.
If them people don't feel safe because of the road conditions, why would they not want a state highway coming to the backside of their property?
Well, the perception is that those people, they do feel safe, but they're not gonna feel safe if you put a big development behind them that significantly increases the roadway traffic. And I
You should
really
tell
think,
every developer in this county they cannot develop anything then,
Well,
because
my thing
everyone that
is-
does it does the same thing you just said.
well, my thing is, it's like, I think there's a lot more places in this county that is a whole lot more easily accessible for development. And do you want this as a court to pull all of your, call in your political favors and call in all these people, get all these people on board for one development that's in the middle of nowhere?
See, that's, I think that's where you're missing the point, Michael. It's not for one development, it's for the 300 and some existing homes, a way in and out. And
It gives them more access, it gives this will give EMS, fire department, police, sheriff's department, it's gonna give them a quicker response time.
And
I'd say about 15 minutes.
the developer has to pay to build that road. Because if they're putting a subdivision, they gotta build a road anyhow. So they gotta build a road all the way down to the creek. The only sticking point is the bridge. And I'd say a bridge is $1 million to $1,500,000, could be well, I think Old Hetty Bridge is 1.9. So I'm looking at, the road will be built all the way down to the creek. There's a 6-inch water line there at the creek that'll be ran up the hill and connect to the water line that's up on the hill, and it'll have fire plugs all along there. I mean, I just, as we look down the road, the number one is the 300 folks that live there now will have better water, they'll have a safer way in and out, in my opinion. So, and again, you know, if the developers wasn't coming there, I would still like to find a way for those folks another way in and out, so they wouldn't get trapped in there.
Well, that's okay. We're in agreement on that. But I think we're using that to mask what to do with development.
Well, I
I
think that,
I think without the developer doing what he's doing, I don't think that getting the road connection through there is gonna be possible. I
Even
think
be an
that
option.
It won't be an option to have a tracker ground that long a stretch to connect from that end to from Plum Creek to.
Well, the state's not gonna build the road.
Yeah,
Yeah, or
agree
if the
with you.
state builds the road, then that's gonna be, if they decide they wanna build the road, it's gonna be them coming in condemning lane. That's
Yeah,
not
I
them
know
coming
it's a
in.
stretch. It'd be a county road. It'd be a county road down to the creek. Would be my guess, but we wouldn't, nobody'd have to build it. The developer would have to build that county road. The hustle here is just getting across the creek.
Well, if the county builds that road,
No,
you're
they're
not, I'm the developer, and the
Yeah.
county takes it over.
Well, let's get
Then
back-
your road still has to connect to Whitfield Lane, so who's to say that all 300 people don't go out the same way and, you know, you're condemning the same problem?
You can't control that though. I mean, you're giving them an option, so that if there is a gas leak or there is an accident that ties up the whole road, they do have another option to.
I agree, I'm saying if you're all right with that option, I don't see how you can't say widen the county road to the state highway. I don't see how you can say there's a problem.
I just don't think that, if we go against their recommendations and we say, well, okay, we're gonna disregard what they're thinking there or this or whatever, these safety concerns, we do it now, then how are we gonna control it in the future?
Well, I think if you built that road, you know, and if the developer was willing to widen the county part of the road, and then he builds that road all the way down into the creek, is the state more likely to, with that bridge, or if it's just, let's build a bridge to open farmland? You been convinced that?
But in the meantime, what do? You can't, are you saying, okay, we're gonna build the road to the creek, but we're not gonna develop anything on the other side of the creek because we don't want people driving across the creek?
I still
So you
think-
let them drive across, there's plenty of people in that part of the country that drive across the
Well,
creek.
there's a lot
But
of
we've
stuff,
also had a couple people drown in this county trying to drive across the creek.
there's a lot of stuff here that's hinging on some
As a county,
future ifs on
You
the
can't
half.
tell somebody that owns
There's
a
a
piece
lot
of
of
property.
you
I
can't
can't
tell
drive
them,
across
but you
the
can
creek.
make and say, this is not telling somebody they can't drive across the creek. This is a county saying, we're not gonna put you in that situation.
Or you use
that
your
you
best
have to drive
judgment
across
as
the
a
creek.
human being. If water's rolling 18 feet, don't drive
That's not
across
the
the
way the
creek.
courts would look at that.
The county would not get sued when there's already entrances going across the creek, someone drowns. There's been plenty of creek drownings around here in the last 20 years.
Well,
I don't think
You
we
can get
should
sued for anything.
participate in that.
I agree 100%.
Well, let's,
but I think there's a lot of futuristic ifs hinging on, well, if the state wants to do this, if we do this, does the state do that? And I know that, you know, sometimes you can't count on that, but for the points and purposes of today, I don't think that us, as a fiscal court body, is in the position. Do we have the reasons? We don't have the reasons, we don't have the evidence, we don't have a lot of things needed to even thinking about going against the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Committee, and that is why we are here right now.
I'm just saying about the creek, to your point, when there's no road through there, I would imagine lots are gonna get sold out there because there's already entrances, and you're gonna put more people going across the creek.
That's what I'm saying.
You're gonna do that right
That
now
doesn't-
by not approving that. Because there's entrances already off Plum Creek, and I don't know what the developer's gonna do, but I would assume they're gonna probably sell.
We're not approving a roadway that tells people, drive across this creek.
Well, unless you put a sign up there, you don't never do that. I wouldn't put a sign up that says drive across the creek, personally.
Judge, I'd like to call a question on the motion.
all right, question's been called for. We'll cease discussion. Madam Clerk, if you would, call the roll. And I want to make this, you know, a yes vote is to deny, a no vote is to not deny. All right, Madam Clerk, call the
Judge
roll.
Travis,
Yes.
Esquire Travis,
I'm going to abstain, and I'll tell you why. Because I asked Mr. Smith if he would take me on a tour of that development this past week, and we did. We rode over the whole thing, and he explained it all to me, exactly what he saw it to be. And so I just want to be transparent that that didn't have anything to do with my vote today, but so I'm going to abstain for vote.
Squire Cotton,
No.
Squire Stump,
Yes.
Squire Ferris,
Yes.
Squire Eldridge.
No,
right, well, when you abstain, it goes with the majority. I think that's correct. Is that right, Corey? And the majority, yeah, when you abstain, you go with the majority. And it was a 3-2.
In favor of adopting the recommendation.
All right, so the motion to deny passes.
Guys, where does it come in on that Kentucky 100 statute about takes the majority of the court?
Yeah,
That's our
You've
court.
got it in your book.
Right, I mean, is that, are we okay with that, what you just said on the vote? Just to be,
It should take the majority of the entire legislative body for fiscal court to override the recommendation of the planning and zoning commission.
Yeah, does it say supermajority anywhere, does it?
No.
It says majority.
We're not overriding it, we're agreeing.
but the abstaining vote would be the issue.
Right.
Looking at here.
Abstention always goes with the majority vote.
Okay. Motion square.
I'd like to make a motion to waive, one-time fees on this piece of property. This is not gonna be free fees for life on this piece of property. If they wanna apply one more time, put in an application for this piece of property, they can get the fees waived for the next time.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mike, second by Jim, to waive the fees for zoning, once on this particular piece of property. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, thank you.
I will remind you all that on planning and zoning matters, all the discussion needs to be in the minutes. So I know sometimes y'all don't want a whole lot of back and forth in the minutes, but actually your whole discussion needs to go in the minutes on this.
Is that required by law?
It's supposed to be in there because with it being a zoning matter, in case it ends up going to court, they have to have good record to go by.
All right.
Lynn takes everything we say word for word anyway, so.
That would pertain to just about everything we do.
Okay.
Well,
It's all very important.
All right, I think that's all I've got.
You are, Lynn.
I will bounce back a little bit. I feel like we kind of delved into Brittany's fire when she was up here talking. But on the distillery, winery, tasting room, regulations, we did, pull from several counties that have those and tried to, make them our own, so to speak. We took from different places and just kind of pulled in and made us that. What we are proposing is that to be in our Ag 1 agricultural zone, also in our B2, B3, and then our I1 industrial, is some that we've got in there as well. But I'll be glad to give you all a copy. I mean, like I said, I try to always put on mine anyway that it's a draft and put a date on it. That way we can keep up with which draft is which. But they are going to the planning commission on the 15th. They've got those in their hands just to read, get familiar with, and so, yeah. But I can, I don't have no problem sending those out.
You said the 15th
Yes, sir.
at, this, 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock. That's the only thing we have on our docket that night, so we've got, that's on the table.
all right, we're gonna take a recess for 5 minutes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they did.
Refused to do it.
No, they made a recommendation to deny it.
I didn't hear that.
Valerie Hunt is who made that recommendation. She was the one that read the motion out. She made the motion. They did.
Yeah, I was understanding. That's all right. If that's the way it is, that's the way it is. I just wrong. Why was they not told about the money that was spent by the state on that road?
They get, what they get, under the minutes. I mean, I gave them every meeting's minutes. There's like 4 meetings, I think, that we had, and they got all of those. Okay. I just, like I said, you know, they get all the minutes from every hearing that they have to read them. I can't, you know. You can lead a horse to water, but can't make him drink.
Well, no, I'm off today, so this meeting will have today's all day.
I see.
The worst was over, it's just was done well, but not was contagious.
No.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it. Yeah, great.
Yeah, especially with school being in.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody brings it home. Like, my whole house was sick. I got lucky. Stayed away and everything. And then when I was a week that everybody worked, I was
My daughter's
Yes, we.
So we did this past week.
You know, again, they aren't lots. They aren't. Yeah.
hopefully all this crowd will pass.
I mean, we had like 1 week, and then we had rain, and now that means that I saw winter in years.
I'll verify. I know.
Yeah.
Can't complain. Life is good.
This is what you see. It was funny because one day it was like 1 degree. The next, the following night, I'm wearing pants. It's warmer.
I didn't
Go to work.
know if you would.
How you doing, Jill? Of course, are you all right? Oh, yeah. It comes and goes. My grandkids go to
My grandkids always get me sick when I go to visit them.
and the worst is over. It's just this is what I'm lucky. And I wasn't contagious. I didn't have
You didn't have strep or anything?
no strep, no flu, no COVID, no nothing. So just, they gave me an antibiotic for a sinus infection. And,
Yeah, it's the information.
so I was just waiting for my voice to get back. And you know how that goes.
Yeah, right, I do.
All weekend, I really didn't talk about toasters and He did. Just, yeah. We bought 2.16 acres over there.
It's no problem.
She's working on her house.
We didn't think it'd be hard.
I'll be hollering. Yeah. Nice talking to you, Linda.
You know who I am?
Yes, you worked on the levy.
Didn't make no noise.
Recycle. Oh, no, you have. They let me go. Look back, people's kids like trying to.
Take care.
Yes. Well, I'll put this on lunches. Now I'm
Yeah.
So, coffee chat, I have to go to the regional store.
Unless it's on Thursday.
Well, the coffee chat.
Did you start to come back to her?
I'm definitely
Tell
going
everybody
to
down
this
there, thank you.
Yes, she did. Oh, yes, sir.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's at the Bristol.
That's right, that's right. I think that's, who's speaking it?
Judge and, me.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah. Well, maybe yes.
Yeah, that's it. Take care.
Great.
Oh, fantastic, nice meeting you.
Well, there was 3 yeses this new notice.
Which part?
No, we did that in a special call meeting. We approved it.
I would probably.
Well, you have to sit there and watch it. And make sure that you're happy.
And it's for
Yeah.
What I always do, Paul, is that you say.
Of course, it too, I got it.
Is the only way to do it. Your thing, so.
You gonna kill me.
North Carolina.
You want to stick around or go ahead and get?
I wanted to ask, you told me you were going over and look.
even.
You hearing?
3-2.
Okay, okay. Then,
I'm guessing you are too.
yeah.
Would that be 3-2?
Hey, did
Yeah. Yeah, Washington and I passed, which is how I called it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean,
No, it was 3-2, and I deemed it 4-2 because the extension was the majority.
it was not even the week of the 31st. It was
You counted their abstentions.
kind of out.
Oh, yes.
It's bad now because. The thing says, to overturn them, you need a majority. We didn't overturn them, we agreed to say.
right.
The motion wasn't overturned.
I mean, all the classes I've been to, extension.
All it was.
We have- we won't be able to do our January.
Yes, I mean, we still had 3-2, I mean, Jim was absent today.
And they have no.
Yeah.
3-2.
Yeah, but what does the law
It's
say
just
when you do that?
everything.
Which way does it go?
Snowballs.
It goes with the majority.
Yeah, he said that
You
there
don't seem
was a
sure
lot
about
of
that.
data.
You need to
No,
do
I,
that.
The
I
transfer.
think I'm sure, I think the question.
And he said they were supposed to be working on that the weekend
I could be
before
wrong, but I-
31st.
I think it needs to be figured out
Did that
before
ever
we
get
leave.
fixed?
No,
Well,
because.
Well, even if it did, even if you did, then you don't have the majority to overturn the recommendation, so all that.
I was gonna say, the bottom line is in 90
It's
days,
just, it's,
if
you
you
can't
didn't
do
overturn
anything
it.
to even work around the
Yeah.
state.
It's a question of when
Because even if they went with you on
No
it,
one
just
right
be
now
capital,
is gone.
but you have to have the majority
It'd be
overturn the
at
recommendation.
9.
Yeah, so I don't, it still don't matter either way. Didn't y'all go to college, like to know stuff like this?
We don't know.
That's why it's practice. There's no proof. I don't even know where my diploma
Hey,
is.
y'all ever watch that Soup Show?
Import from the old system into the.
Is that one on
new system,
YouTube?
somewhere in between
I
there.
love
Oh, that's funny.
Have you seen it? That's a pretty good show, really. No.
He walks out.
Corey knows what that means. I never had.
Corey seems like he watched it, but then he discovered a disdain for it.
He gets a one.
He's not a Megan Parsons fan.
Well,
You watch the whole thing?
So now.
Oh, you see this one, I don't watch with prison.
well,
I just watched it for TikTok.
he gets out in 3 months.
He gets out in 3 months.
The only thing we can probably do.
It's just funny. How long do you YouTube for the two that watch the show?
Yeah, I watch it all the way through. I watch every season. I watch every episode. I loved it. I watched it. Right, 'cause I was binge watching it.
Hey, well, y'all ready, let's keep this.
Yeah, watching the show.
Take care, Steve.
What is this?
Thank you, Stacy, appreciate it.
This, one of these.
Hold on, I'm gonna bring Chris up next, so he can get on his way.
He's just trying to get the lunch, really.
I'm trying to,
Oh, really?
last night. What-
Mark's some good ones, man.
What are you looking for?
His thing.
Excuse me, ma'am, we're having a meeting in here.
Go ahead, Chris.
Abigail Nation turned in her 2-week notice. She's requesting to move her status from full-time to part-time. She's taking a job with the Oxmoor Auto Group, which allows her no holidays, no weekends, no nights. So I would like to keep her part-time, so I would like to see a motion to move Abigail from full-time to part-time status.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mike, seconded by Zach, to move Abigail Nation from full-time to part-time.
Correct.
No, it ain't in here.
Do you need that effective immediately?
Yeah,
Whenever her notice, I think it was the 8th, I didn't bring it with me. I'm sorry.
that's why I couldn't find it.
Effective whenever her notice.
You'll just let Doug know.
I will.
So, all right, we have, you got that down to the moment?
Yeah.
All right, to move Abigail from full-time to part-time, any discussion? All those in favor? It's not on the agenda, actually. It's not on the agenda. It doesn't have a cover sheet and all. All right, any other discussion?
I just told him to get with you, he'd let you know.
I mean, usually part-time rates higher than full-time rates, so that's why I was.
Yeah, did that,
When you changed the pay rate last year, I don't know that number off the top of my head, because
well, then, because when she goes to part-time, then there's no retirement paid in, I guess. So, all right, well, we can discuss that next time. if we need to.
I just told him to get with Doug and y'all work, they work it out.
Well, we'll have to vote on it, and vote on all salaries, so we'll bring it
It's still
back.
full-time for this pay week anyway. so-
Correct.
So I need to rescind my motion?
No.
traditionally, part-time was an hour more, $1 more on the hour. So I think she's at 15, maybe at 16.
Okay, so you want to add that to your motion?
Please.
At $16 an hour.
All right, and the second is good. All right, we won't do an amendment, Lynn, we'll just add that at a rate of 16 an hour, part-time. All right, any other discussion? That covers that. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Well, what page is this, are we picking back up?
I have no idea what
All
that is, I'm trying to figure out.
We're going
59?
to, like 50 minutes. Yeah, we're doing it now. 59. It's 59 is where we're gonna start.
This is the one of the last regularly scheduled fiscal court meeting, the minutes from the last
Yes.
regular.
This is Tuesday the 16th.
All right, next is the approval of the minutes from January 16th. I passed out, I read through them last night. I'll just go through page by page. 59, I had no change. This is my observation. You all can approve, change, or disapprove. 60 had no changes. 61, no changes. 62, no changes. I have changes starting on page 63. Passed out, it'd be on the front page of that. Down at the bottom where it says Esquire Cotton interjected, I struck the rest of that page. Go to page 64. I struck everything except down at G where it says number 1, old business, community events pavilion, Steve Emily. And it says Squire Travis and Steve Emily proposed a budget ceiling of $30,000 for what he says his company will do, which was the bid project. And I struck out on page 7 down the first paragraph, and it said they decided to pass on this and get more bids. The rest of page 65 is in. Go to page 66, starts at the top, goes down to EMS, and then it said motion by, down to bullet point, motion by Squire Cotton, seconded by Squire Ferris. That's where we changed Miles Higgs from EMT to paramedic. Then go down to the bottom, Mr. Lent went on, that a second thing came up, and that's where we started talking about giving and we voted to give the EMS in Bullock County one of our radios. And then go to page 67, no changes. Page 68, no changes. 69, no changes. 70, no changes. 71, no changes. 72, that's where we were talking about getting a mower. You see up at the top, I left the first 2 sentences basically. Then we had a motion to buy that mower. So all that language is struck all the way down through there. And then I believe that's all the changes that I thought that needed to be changed. I don't think everything at the tail end. So I will make a motion to approve the minutes with the changes that were presented.
Second.
All right, have a motion by myself, seconded by Jim, to approve the minutes with the changes that were presented. Is there any discussion?
I don't think you should approve them, you're striking out half of them. You know, and I will just say this one more time, I just got these minutes at like 3 o'clock Friday afternoon, and then I get all these additions and corrections. There's no way that you could expect me before 9 o'clock in the morning to be able to review all of these minutes and then all these proposed corrections and additions. And if we're throwing this up, something like this before the court, it don't seem like it's kind of rushing it to throw together a motion to approve. You shouldn't have a motion to not approve.
Those minutes were given to the judge's office Tuesday evening.
Yes, ma'am, I did not say,
They were
I want to
plenty of
say,
time.
I don't know when they were got, I just know when I got Friday. Just saying.
I'm pretty sure they should have been sent out. I don't know when everybody else got them.
Right here, 2/5/24 fiscal court meetings, Friday, 2/2, Brittany Beach. That's what I got.
Well, but that is the whole packet?
Fiscal court meeting packet, impressed. I did not get a separate minutes.
Of the minutes?
No. I'm just saying, it seems like it's a lot here. We're going down a dangerous road, I think, of just strike. I know what you're trying to do, and I'm not disagreeing with any of your changes. We don't, I don't disagree with any of your changes. I mean, but like, at what point are we like, man, so we're gonna have 40 pages of minutes, we're gonna strike out these 17 pages and these 38 lines over here, this, that, and the other, and then everybody's supposed to just automatically know that that's exactly what they want and or need, and that's an accurate representation of what was said or action taken in this meeting, and just, prove it.
Well, if you look on page 83 of the packet there, this special fiscal court meeting, and you look at the outline of that, the meeting, minutes of that meeting, or the one, where we met with the fiscal for like,
Yeah, I saw those.
it's very simple, very precise, you know, why not just go that route and eliminate all that discussion that we have to, as far as like zoning or whatever.
Well,
Last night, about 8:15, I came up in the office, and that's when I read through these minutes and made those changes. So, I mean, it was after 11 when I got through this book to be prepared for today. Night meetings, I usually make sure I get them ready the day up. And I welcome each of you all to, when you get your packet, again, reach out. Going through the minutes is one of the most time consuming of preparing for this meeting. So I try to make efforts to thoroughly go through them and made those strikes is what I thought was commentary and not necessarily necessity.
I'm not saying that your corrections are wrong, Scott. I'm sure they're very valiant and proper, and that's not my argument. My argument is not your corrections at all. I think you're correct. You're perfectly great to make those corrections, but at the end of the day, do we all know, other than Scott, what we're voting on exactly, word for word?
I don't think you know that when we get normal minutes,
I was gonna say, yeah.
my problem is
Because
that
some of the things are,
when we got minutes that are like this, the only way to truly say you're confident in it is to watch the video and go line by line in the minutes. And maybe I'm the only one, but I'm not able to do that.
Well, I guess I'm just throwing out for discussion purposes. My viewpoint moving forward is if I don't 100% believe, if I can't sit there and say without any mental reservation that this is 100% what I said, I'm not approving.
Well, my intention is, when we get the minutes, we send them to you guys right then. That's my intention. Now, if I get them on Sunday before Tuesday, and your email's not working, I can't get them to you. If I get them on Tuesday, I get them on Wednesday, I get them on Thursday, as soon as they're in my office, then, I mean, I could ask the clerk to send them to you all also, but if she sends them to my office, then my office needs to send them to you all. That's the best I can do.
I'm not digging anybody. This is just a blanket statement. If I get them at 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon, don't expect me to approve them 9 o'clock Monday morning. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Was there a problem with the clerk sending them to all? Lynn, is that a problem for you?
I like to send them to his office first. That's how I've always done it, and
Can you
it's not
send
been
them to
a
his
problem
office first and
before.
then ours, in separate email? Or you just not do that?
I would rather give them to the judge's office and let them just distribute them to you all.
And that's, again, that'll be the intention, moving forward.
Well, I don't see a need if they're already being sent.
And well, if his email's not, if Jim Travis's email's not working, and then I'm responsible for sending them out, and if he doesn't get them, then it's gonna come back on me. So that's why they go to the judge's office.
No objection there.
All right, so any other discussion on these minutes? We have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the minutes with the changes. Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
No.
All right, 5-1, motion passes. Approve the minutes. All right, next, turn to page 83, which is page 83 through 91, where we had our special call meeting. And we'll need a signature to attest these. I don't have any changes for these minutes. There's a lot of information there that goes along with it. It's useful. I'll hang on to that. But I don't have any changes to these, and I will attest to these once they are approved. I will sign these minutes to get them recorded.
I'll make a motion to approve the January 24th special call meeting.
All right, is there a second?
second,
All right, we have a motion by Zach, seconded by Dan, to approve the special call meeting minutes, January 24th, 2024. Any discussion?
I'm gonna recuse myself from voting on these because I was not present.
Okay, you just not voting, I guess?
Yes, recuse myself from voting.
Not voting, okay. All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving the minutes of January 24th, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? We'll let that be 5-0, 5-1, 5-0, 5-0. All right,
And Judge, just for abundance of caution, to reiterate the vote that was taken after January 24th, there's a question.
no, not that one, the other one.
Well, it was January 24th, interlocal meeting. That
Yeah,
second
yeah.
meeting. Just to reiterate, an assurance and abundance of caution, the commitment to commit $100,000 for that release grant.
Okay.
I think it was properly noticed, but just in case that it wasn't a special meeting where an action could take place, just to make sure.
All right, so basically, and Michael,
I read it.
yeah, yeah, basically what we'll do at this meeting is we will vote to approve the, I don't know how to word it the best, but.
Well, motion to commit $100,000 in conjunction with the city and school board for an application of the raise grant for the sidewalk project at the high school.
Yeah, so we entertain a motion to approve up to $100,000 to apply for the raise grant with the city, contingent upon getting approval and, the city contributing the same amount.
Second.
All right. Motion.
Yep.
Motion by me, second by Zach, to approve the $100,000 to apply for the raise grant in conjunction with the city of Taylorsville, not to expend more than $100,000 for the sidewalks. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. So next we have the minutes of the 6:30 January 24 meeting, page 92. And
Motion to approve the minutes.
all right, so basically where we approve the doing the sidewalks, basically all we're doing is we call to order and adjourn. So
What's on here?
I'm sorry, I was at 92.
Okay, hard hit horse on that one.
Yeah, well, either way. Nevertheless, the minutes are 92 and 93, I believe.
yeah, but well, these when we were doing the minutes, there was a question about exactly what we did. So these minutes were not in there, which is why Corey advised us to vote on that separately. So we did take action in that meeting to join with the city, but since it wasn't spelled out in these minutes, we can either add it to these minutes, Corey, you advised, or we took care of the action already.
I think we should vote these minutes down because we don't know the accuracy of them.
Well,
I don't understand the
93, the second vote, I think covers that commitment to spend $100,000 on the.
Yeah, page, okay.
The notes for the interlocal agreement for y'all is down below for that, for Mike and.
You talking about this chicken scratch that's around everybody's names?
Yeah, that's supposedly the note.
That's the official
I'm
document.
really sorry. I had an IV port in one arm and I had a surgical splint in the other, and I made it known that I was not going to be able to transcribe the minutes
Well, come on,
at the
Lynn.
first meeting.
Legitimate excuses only, okay?
And I'm sorry, this looks like.
That was sarcasm.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and Lynn did tell us, and her arm was in a sling that night, so hope you're doing better.
Looks like you are.
So, but anyway, so if you're satisfied that page 92 covers us, Corey?
Well, 92 and 93 are.
Yeah, I mean 93 together, collectively, covers it.
that was the only action that was taken.
Or I'll tell you what, I'll make a motion to approve the January 24th meeting of 6:30 that was joint with the city and school board. And I'll add the language under new business where it says sidewalks project number 1, footnote C, page 93.
I'll rescind my original motion, I reckon.
I thought he made the motion to approve it.
I
you
did,
make the
that's how
motion?
this-
You did? All right, well then I'll move to amend the motion
All right.
by adding the words under new business.
Is there a second on
If I get a second.
Second.
All right, got a second by Dan. So the amendment is to add the words under new business sidewalk project is see page 93. Just see page 93, so I got a motion in a second. Did you not get a second first time?
No, you just started talking.
Well, to get it proper,
Wait a second, the original motion.
well, let's start over. I'll rescind my motion. And so now we have a motion on the floor to
Approve the minutes.
approve the January 24th minutes, and I'll need a second.
Second.
All right, have a motion by, we're starting over, guys. Have a motion by Will, seconded by Dan to approve the January 24th, 6:30 joint special city school board meeting. So now is there any discussion? I'd like to amend the motion by adding the words under sidewalk project, see page 93, for a decision made, I guess.
Second.
See page 93 for a decision made. All right. Okay, is there any other discussion? Yeah, I had the motion, seconded by Will.
This is on these minutes on the sidewalks?
Yeah, this is on page 92 and 93. All right, any discussion on the amendment? And the amendment just is to add the language of see page 93.
I'm gonna recuse myself again because I wasn't here.
Okay. Is there any other,
Who is the second on your?
Will, on my amendment? All right, any other discussion?
What are we voting on?
We're voting on the amendment, which is just to add the language of see page 93 for the decisions made.
Who's on first?
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone
No.
opposed? What?
No.
No?
Opposed, yes.
Okay.
I'm opposed to the amendment, I'm opposed to the minutes, so I'm gonna vote no for both of them.
Okay, all right, but anyway, let's do a roll call vote.
That's just 4-1. He's the only one that said no.
Was it 4-1? All right, never mind then.
Yeah, so.
We'll not do so well. All right, well, it passed by a voice vote. All right, so now we have the motion as amended, which is to approve the January 24th meeting minutes of the joint city school and adding the language of see page 93. So now the motion as amended is on the floor. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
Me, no.
All right, anyone not voting, so the motion passes. All right. Now, next is page 94. We're gonna put it in high gear. This was that car that had the damage underneath. We took it over to O'Brien, and it was 3204, so I'll need to get an approval to fix it.
I thought when this was brought up, we said we wanted to know more details.
All right, well, the details was, it wasn't a warranty job.
Well, so what happened, as far as what's happened here, is he was in pursuit, went out to the cornfield pursuing somebody, and he ran off into a ditch. That's what happened.
Initially, and then they run over a rock on Overlook Road.
Okay, I was getting ready to say, that's not the same story I heard.
Yeah, then they hit a rock on
Overlook Road in the same vehicle. Now, there was a recall on this, but this was damaged because under the car, when it's up on the rack, you could see where they run over rocks.
Corey, you better get some restitution. Did they catch him?
I don't even know.
So we discussed this last meeting and we put it on hold. Now, we did haul it to O'Brien's, cost $125. But the bill is nearly $400 cheaper than.
You want to take it back?
Are you telling me that it's cheaper for the dealer to fix it than for Darby's to fix it?
On this one, it was.
I think there was a little bit of warranty work that was able to be completed on this.
Well,
A little bit, but it wasn't much.
The dealer's never.
The bill at Daughtery's was $35.92 and the deal was $32.04 and change. So I just,
I'll make a motion, we go take the truck to O'Brien's for the fix of 320418.
Second.
all right, have a motion by Jim, seconded by Zach, to approve getting the damaged car fixed at O'Brien's 320418. Is there any discussion?
Is the truck over there, or do you bring it back?
I think it's back.
Oh, okay, $120,000.
Well,
I mean, I'm still in my head, how did we say $400?
We're good.
all right, any other discussion?
You gotta pay the toll there again.
$250.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Probably less than that, because we done paid it.
Motion passes.
Once before.
Come on, Will.
All right, on the courthouse locks, on page 96, we are still getting quotes. I aim to have quotes by next meeting for actually getting locks put on that we will be able to consider. We've had another issue with we've been having a problem with the elevator door being locked and not being locked. And one day last week, the front door of the courthouse was not locked. So I want to put this on that, a request to the clerk's office if they can make sure the doors are locked each day. So I entertain a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion that the clerk's office is taking further questions to the judge, do their due diligence, and lock the doors of the courthouse when they leave.
Why are we responsible for the locks?
I just
Is there a second?
Are y'all the last ones in there?
Second.
What about coming in? Who's gonna unlock them?
Well, your office opens at 8, don't it?
Yeah, his office opens at 8.
Well, he ain't in your door.
All right, we have a motion on the floor by Mike, seconded by Zach, to request that the clerk's office lock and unlock the courthouse each day. Is there any discussion?
The only reason why I don't see this being a problem is if the clerk's office opens at 8 o'clock, there shouldn't be no reason why every representative of the clerk's office.
Because
have
if
the
you ain't
courthouse
open up when they come in.
Then y'all can
No.
work it out and trade off.
That's not my responsibility.
All right, any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Squire Eldridge,
Yes.
Squire Judge Travis,
Yes.
Squire Travis.
Yes.
Chapman,
Yes.
Squire Stump,
Yes.
Squire Ferris.
Yes.
All right, thank you, 6-0. Next on the agenda is the Community Events Pavilion. We had discussion, I guess, at our special call meeting, and we have in our book OHM, which is Steve Emily, and then QK4 also had things in our book here, and I know QK4 and what OHM seems to be some different in what they're doing, and one was $10,000 more money.
And doesn't.
Is this what we discussed last time about the middleman?
We did this when you were here too. And
Yeah.
it does not include a site plan.
It does not.
Yeah, basically, if you look on page 104, that's the best page. It gives the nuts and bolts of what the 30,000 would go towards.
I'm getting it.
So,
Oh, yeah, I read this earlier.
all right, 11,000 would go for the boards, core sampling, and then 10,000 goes to working with the building committee. And then the balance would be different things, but it includes, which we already got a survey, the site layout. It would include what the grading should be, drainage, design requirements, utility requirements.
I just didn't know if this $10,000 figure here, where it says goes to work architecture, I didn't know if that would go towards, if they could be applied towards the site plan.
At the end,
I think it's his company doing that work architecture. I think.
Yeah, all this money,
They're doing that in-house.
he's just breaking down where the money's going in his company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not hiring an architect or a.
Well, they're hiring the geotech
Yeah.
people.
But not the actual person's gonna make the site plan.
I think that he
We're
does
not
that
getting a
in-house,
site
if I'm not.
This is not a site plan.
Okay.
Here's what I know we're gonna have to do. What we're building will have to be inspected by the state, building and housing. And they will require these core samples, so that's gonna have to be expended by us. No way around it. So you got that. We don't need a survey, but, and then when we buy the building package should already be stamped by an engineer.
It is.
It'll be stamped by an engineer. Now, we'll have to pay, and unless we hire them as a general contractor, unless we hire them, we'll have to get someone to design the plumbing and the HVAC, the electric.
Well, that's what Steve Emily is saying he will do.
Well, it may not be in the 30,000.
That'll be an additional?
Could be in addition to that, but we still gotta pay somebody to do it.
No, I would think it would be in the 30,000 if you read that right.
Well, down here at the bottom on page 104, it says, to be clear, our work will not provide full design construction drawings.
That's the drawings of the entire project done. The metal buildings, whoever they buy that building from, whoever the contractor is, if they go that route, that building will be stamped for Kentucky and approved, that structural part. Everything else would have to be done before that. The foundation layout, blah, 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 blah. Steve Emley's gonna evidently lay all that out, but not to have the architectural drawings. The company who gets the bid would have their own drawings made up, and that would be part of their bid package.
They're not giving us a construction plan. A construction plan has all the plumbing, all the HVAC.
No, they're not. That's what, he's getting together everything we need to be able to, for him to send out these requests for proposals to contractors to bid on the project. He's got it far enough along, they can take what he's got, which is a rendering of what it's gonna look like, and everything else. And then that's what the bids would be.
He's saying he's gonna take $30,000 and put a package together to give to somebody to draw up a site plan and construction drawings, is what he's saying.
But-
And then we gotta take and spend another 30 to get site plans and construction drawings.
But that
Then we gotta-
30 you have to spend anyway.
I think the site plan and the construction plan would be the responsibility of the contractor that bids.
The site plan, the construction plan is gonna be the responsibility of us. We are the ones proposing it, so we have to put together.
The developer's gonna build a subdivision, and I'll bring the plans to build the subdivision.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way I take it.
You know, yeah.
Well, the way I see it is, there are things here that has to be done.
Well, I mean, what you were talking about doing at geotech work, if we were doing a housing or an apartment complex or something like that, yeah, we would have to get the state housing board involved. We're not doing this, it's not a housing complex.
No, they're gonna look at it as assembly too, because it's a place where people assemble, and if it's over 100, you gotta do it.
It might, I don't know about that, but I think a lot of the questions that we're gonna have to answer as far as what we need to spend now, what we need to do now, is something we can find out in-house from Julie and Steve Clark at no cost. And then we talk to them, and then we figure out if we go to state housing, if we need to do a geotechnical survey before we spend anything. That's all I'm getting at, is we can find those answers out for free. We're asking an architectural company and an advisor, building advisor company to what needs to be done. They're gonna say, well, we need to spend $30,000 to get this. We may not have to spend $30,000, we may be able to pass that step up and then spend $30,000, that's all I'm saying.
I think you have to surveyors take off the roads, take off the building, hire someone to do a site plan based off where it's located. And, if you gotta hire a company to core some holes and do it.
Well, y'all want we'll just,
I tell you what, I'll make a motion that we go with Steve Emily for his design for $30,000 cap.
I'll second it. All right, we have a motion by Jim, second by myself, to go with Steve Emily for $30,000 cap on our pavilion proposals. Any discussion? We gotta get, well, I don't feel like, I'm with you all. We don't want to throw money away. But we've got things that we've got to get done and we gotta get started on. And I've talked to Steve Clark, and he's gonna tell us that this building could hold over 100 people. He can't inspect it. So it's gonna be the state guy, and it's a fellow named, I believe, Jacob Gregory, I think's his name. He's in town one day a month. But, I mean, I'll get all the details you all want if we vote this down. I mean, we still need to move forward.
My only question is like, let's just say we did say, you know, okay, now we get a general contractor or whatever on board, or we get a builder and they provide site plans and this, that, and other. And so, you know, we've got this entity over here, and then you have, this OHM right here. Is it gonna be like too many cooks in the kitchen?
No, actually, I think if you read Steve Emily's thing here, they're gonna work with that contract even after, somebody wins the contract, to make sure that everything's going how they say it should.
Jim, I don't, I agree with that, that's how I interpret this, but, and I wanna support whatever we need to do to take the step forward. I'm just scared to death that we might drop $30,000 if they say they're gonna work with the builder to do HVAC and the contract plumbing, this and that. What, doesn't the builder do, doesn't the general contractor want to do that?
The general contractor will do that. I think what Steve Emily's saying he's gonna do is just make sure that every one of the contractors is doing what they're supposed to do.
So he's gonna be a $30,000 insurance policy going around everybody.
Contractor. That's all we need. We don't need Steve Emily. Here we are, here this is. All Steve Emily's gonna be is a middleman between us and the general
I mean, I
contractor.
guess, so based off, that, I mean, you're gonna pay $30,000, pretty much, he's gonna be just kinda policing to make sure that things are getting done the way they're supposed to be done?
I would think so, yeah. I don't know to what extent, but, I
Well,
would think so, yeah.
So the question
The real
really.
thing about it is, the way I see it is that, we've got to do something, okay?
I agree.
But we don't even know what that something is. So, and we're gonna wait around and wait around.
I'm not saying we're gonna be waiting around, but I
There are
think
certain things that need to be done professionally, and I don't think we can do them. I think $30,000 would be a small price to pay.
Well, and
What he's offering.
And it's up to 30,000. It's not like we're gonna be billed 30,000.
I'd like to reiterate something else
Yes.
to everybody in the court. We just voted to spend $528,000 on an animal shelter that we are getting ready to break ground on. We're gonna get two $500,000 or multi-million-dollar projects going on at the same time. It doesn't work that way. No, it
Well,
doesn't.
on page 100, where it says compensation, we will perform the above services on an hourly basis per the attached hourly rate schedule. The total contract budget
I say you
ceiling
get one done and you focus on the other.
$30,000. We will not exceed the contract limit without client's prior approval. Of course, that's exceeding the limit.
Well, the animal shelter will be up and going before this project even.
We haven't even broke ground on the animal shelter yet. Y'all are trying to spend $30,000 on doing, on nothing that we don't need right at this moment.
I ain't got no problem with two projects going at the same time, but that just kind of should put something in the back of your head, what I've been saying, what this is gonna cost the whole time. And that little old animal shelter is gonna cost us $750,000 probably by the time you're done. Just think about what it's gonna cost out there.
All right, well, I'm gonna try to get out here before 12, so, I mean, it kind of, we got to vote on this.
I just vote on it.
We'll go ahead and vote and move on, and, but anyhow, so,
I will say one last thing. Jim, I mean, Will made an excellent point. Everybody makes an excellent point. My only thing where I'm at right now is like, I know what Jim's saying, like, we have to keep the ball rolling forward. A no vote for this is stopping the ball.
No, it's not.
It's slowing it down.
It's slowing it down
It's
until
not
we
stopping
figure
it.
out exactly which direction that the court can agree on to do. But on the other hand, this project, as Will pointed out, is gonna be so expensive if we do get the opportunity to save 30 grand, should we not really do our due diligence in doing that? And that's the part, I'm looking for other viewpoints of direction here of how this court should vote on this issue. What's more important, keeping the ball rolling at a quicker pace, to try to hit some kind of deadline between now and 100 years from now, or take a gamble on $30,000?
I think if you look at it that way, you could just call Steve Emily and say, hey, I've got $4 million, you can have it, build a pavilion.
You know,
Get it going.
when we get into it further, there's gonna be things that come up, there's no doubt about it, but if we don't get into it, then a year from now, we'll be sitting here saying the same thing we're saying now, because, who here is gonna have the time to do everything that Zach's talking about doing?
Well, let me ask you this,
Who's gonna make sure that all that gets done?
I'm not a builder, and y'all probably like, no joke, we know. But in my mind, my own college-educated mind, shouldn't we have like a drawing and stuff before we determine what we need to supplement said bill, because we don't know what said bill is going to entail? That's just me. Now, I'm just throwing that out there. Shouldn't you have, or shouldn't we say, this is what we want, to get an actual engineered drawing, this is what, just like we did with the animal shelter, they brought back an engineered drawing, and then we look at what services we need to supplement building said engineered drawing. It almost seems like we're backwards, and maybe I'm just not catching on to what other people are
We
saying.
can do it just like the animal shelter, honest, what he just said, have a set of plans, get
The
someone
whole
to get a
thing
set of
about it
site
is-
plans, and then get it bid out to
Steve
build it.
Emily's already said, he quoted here when he was here, I think if you go back, he said a set of drawings for these two buildings you're talking about would be up to $80,000, just for the drawings.
He said it would be $30,000 for the animal shelter, and we spent $4,600, $4,000.
Okay, well, not exaggerated, so.
But,
If somebody's got the time to go through, all that,
well,
that's fine.
I'll just say, even if this fails today, we're gonna be discussing it every meeting, because we're gonna keep this going. So anyway, let's go ahead and vote,
Well, I'll just say one more thing, if you don't agree with it, that's fine, but offer up suggestions to the, solutions to the problem. Not just say, we're not gonna do it, but then what are we gonna do if?
My thing is, like I said, my solution to this is you got one building we're getting ready to start with, and it's broke ground on. We need to focus more on getting that shelter going, and then once it's under roof, then we can pick this up. I'm not saying we're gonna drop the ball, I'm not saying that the ball's stopping, I'm just saying it's gonna slow down a little bit. We get one project moving, and then we focus on the other one after it's actually moving, it's actually getting feet under it.
I kind of agree, and then I kind of don't. I'm not scared of doing two at the same time.
I'm not scared of getting two.
And I would say, I know you're saying it's gonna be complicated, it's gonna be a lot of moving parts. But I just don't think we're ready to decide on this particular topic right now. And, and Doug brought up a good point. I move to table the motion.
I second that.
all right,
We already had a motion on that.
well, we
This is a
table this
prevailing
motion. All right, we have a motion by Mike, seconded by Will to table this motion. A little scratchy on tabling, but.
Requires two-thirds majority vote
I
on
don't
that.
think we have discussion on it. Don't remember, but anyway,
If
so,
we table it, and then we just vote on this, it can always be brought back up.
I have a motion to table. All those in favor of tabling, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
Yes, no,
All right,
opposed.
so I guess, of course, the minutes have to record the vote, so I guess it was, motion to table 5-1. Is that accurate? All right, so the motion to table passes, so this is tabled. All right, next on the agenda is planning and zoning board recommendations. That's on page 106.
It has to be recorded because tabling is a prevailing motion that requires two-thirds majority vote. Not just a majority, but two-thirds majority.
Yeah.
Table in a There's a motion and a second on the floor.
I think you can move the table at any time, because you can move the table of motion and its amendments.
It's a privileged motion, just like, a motion to adjourn, motion to recess.
On page 106, we have an appointment of Jacob Brown, the Planning and Zoning Commission for 4 years, term March 1 to 2024 to February 29, 28.
Motion to approve.
That is a leap year that year, I checked it. So, all right, we have a motion by Jim, seconded by Mike, to approve.
He's on here now.
Yeah, Jacob Brown, the Planning and Zoning for a period of 4 years.
Who makes that appointment?
Well, I'm making the appointment, but y'all are, I was going to make the appointment, we're making the appointment.
Yeah.
I bring it up, we're ratifying it.
You just run the record.
You got it right in?
I don't. But I'm just bringing it for future references.
And Jacob is currently on the zoning commission, and so, all right, we have a motion and a second to appoint Jacob Brown. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Next, page 107 is the appointment of Greg Murphy to the Board of Adjustments for 4 years, starting February 1, 24 to January 31st, 28.
Motion to approve.
All right, have a motion by Will.
Second.
Seconded by Zach to approve Greg Murphy to the Board of Adjustments for a period of 4 years. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Is there anything about,
What's that?
who is Mr. Murphy?
Oh, Greg, he's currently on, I think he's already on the Board of Adjustments.
Yes.
Yeah, he's currently on the Board
Okay,
of Adjustments.
at least that would have,
Okay.
He's in my district.
I don't know everybody, I know most.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. Okay, next we have Ethics Board reappointments. I guess I should have called those reappointments. But anyway, this is another reappointment for the Ethics Board. And we have 2 members, Hope Pierce from 1/1/24 to 12/31/27, and Linda Bennett, 1/12/24, 12/31/27. Entertain a motion for those 2 reappointments.
Motion to approve the reappointments of Hope Pierce and Linda Bennett as the Ethics Committee.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, have a motion by Zach, seconded by Will, to approve the reappointments of Hope Pierce and Linda Bennett to 4-year terms on the Ethics Commission.
And both of these are reappointments, they're currently sitting on that? Okay.
Yes. All right, any discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Next, the AMVets would like to use a little bit of the storage room. I guess, Dan, I'll let you.
Yeah, it's a storage area that was built between the Parks Department garage and the animal shelter. Randy built it back there. It's just full of kind of junk right now.
Yeah, Daniel's kind of cleaning it up.
Yeah,
so.
Where do you get into it at?
You get into it through the Parks Department building, or you can get into it through the animal shelter, either one. So the Daniel is cleaning it up. He doesn't have any problem with us using a small portion of it, because he said that once he cleans the junk out of it, then he'll have plenty of room.
Basically what it is, it's just some particle board, plywood, nailed up with no top, and it's inside the animal shelter kind of. And then, but there's a big garage door that's at a bay in the center of that 3-bay garage.
Does the Buildings and Grounds Committee have an opinion?
Well, my opinion, the only thing I was gonna say, I had no problem with them using it if nobody else, is in dire need of it, but I think there should be something put in place, a time frame in case something comes up that we do, maybe renew it every 6 months or every year.
Well, I think that anytime something would come up and you'd say, hey, y'all have to vacate, then it wouldn't be an issue. They're not gonna take you to court to say, well, you told us we could use it.
It'd be a verbal thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's just a verbal.
Yeah, can we do a verbal month to month?
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, instead of using that area, there's like in that the park storage room, which I haven't been there in a bit, but there's that one little office there.
You know, that office would work better
Yeah. I
But,
say, they're not grinding, nobody uses it.
Brian, nobody uses that anymore. There's a desk and a box of tires in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather than have that, I mean, that's more of a,
Fine.
I'd rather give them that.
Okay.
I
And
think well, I'm fine with that.
Y'all good with either?
Whatever you work out with.
Yeah.
whatever Daniel
Basically,
decides
Yeah.
is the better for him,
Yeah.
that is his.
Yeah, we'll run about that.
There's probably a reason why they didn't pick that little office area over this, because I'm like you, I would prefer that over
Well, they might have
this
thought,
other.
Well,
Ain't
I
nobody
thought it was
using it.
being used, you know,
But,
I didn't think it was being used.
Alright,
It's
so
not.
is there a limitation to what space is being utilized here?
It's in the,
It's that storage room?
It's
Yeah,
a
it's not
storage
box.
building.
Okay, storage room.
it's either or. We'll give
Either
them-
or, storage room or office.
Or the office located in the animal park storage building.
What, is this office be used for like offices with rent and stuff?
No,
No,
too
no,
little.
no, it's a little
It's
small.
about as big as this corner right
Yeah.
here.
I don't know what office you're talking about.
It's in where the park storage was, where the tires and stuff is going at. What's right there, like the tire change and stuff, it's up there against it.
You ain't, I never seen this place here till the other day. I got in there and you can climb up a ladder and look at the dogs. That's all in Victoria, you know.
Well, howdy, how.
So you all are good with, either or the storage room or the little
I would
office?
prefer the office myself, just that if it doesn't work for them, I'm fine with using the big thing, I would prefer them to be in that.
The office is plenty big enough, but
Yeah,
I'd just like to talk,
I think Daniel.
let Daniel make that decision,
Yeah.
which one.
Which one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let Daniel make the call.
And we'll just do it on a month-to-month basis, because it's basically free charge, right? Y'all all good with that? We'll entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
All right, second? Have a motion by Mike, seconded by Will, to allow AMVET's use of, storage room or office room in the animal control and parks building on a month-to-month basis. At no charge. Yeah, yeah, use of the room to be determined by the Daniel Cole Maintenance. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have the multi-purpose, I've got a letter here somewhere. We give
I
them,
haven't got that.
you've got this one, don't you?
From the Community Action
community
Partnership.
action agency.
See, on page 110.
It's kind of hard to read.
Mine's blank.
$110.
All right.
I got
Did
it.
we read it, Dave?
Here, here's a letter from August. Basically, we give, Doug has it in the budget, we budget 40,000. They would give multi-purpose, and we gave them the 20,000 back in August. They're requesting the other 20,000, which is the second half of what we voted to give them.
So moved.
Second.
All right, have a motion by Jim, seconded by Mike, to approve the second half of the allocated amount, which is $20,000 to give to the community action multipurpose. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Next is Doug has the floor, the Kentucky Deferred Comp. Guess that's something we need to pass from time to time.
They just sitting there saying to stay legal with them, we need to pass a resolution, we were gonna work with the deferred comp. And we do need to probably work on getting them to come down maybe more to meet with people if somebody wants to sign up or anything, but there's 5 or 6 employees right now that won't using the deferred comp.
Yeah, a lot of probably don't even know it exists.
It's a good program. So
It is a real good program.
I'll make a motion that we,
Approve the resolution
approve the resolution.
to participate with the Kentucky Deferred Comp.
Yes.
Second.
Have a motion by Zach, second by Dan, to approve the resolution of Springs County Fiscal Court, participating with the Kentucky Deferred Comp Program. Any discussion?
Page 112.
Yep, page 112. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, next we have, let's see, I need to at our meeting with the city and the school, there was just discussion about getting a committee together to look about attending to the old ball field. And I thought that I would appoint, we don't have to vote on this, I'll appoint Mike since he's a parks director, and Dan since it's in his magistrate district, to be 2 members for this committee whenever it gets formed. You all good with that? All right, we shouldn't need a vote on that. Let's see, next is on page 114. Yes, on page 114, which is item 7, we have a letter from where you can do a 3.4% increase on the county magistrates. I'll make a motion to approve the 3.4 increase for the county magistrates.
Second.
All right, have a motion by myself, seconded by Zach, to approve the 3.4% increase for the magistrate's compensation. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Okay, next is, page 115, we have a request from the county's attorney's office.
Oh, I'm going.
And let's give it over to you, Corey.
Don't touch the microphone.
I'll swat it down.
I'll swat it down.
So our office is, we wear multiple hats, whether it be state, child support, or for the county. What we are requesting fiscal court, actually I will move the microphone so it's acceptable. What we're requesting for fiscal court is the funding for a part-time law clerk administrative assistant position to assist with countywide stuff, which includes, so there's several things, and I'll go over kind of one side that we had. Increase in our cases last year compared to 2021, kind of get a picture of the first full COVID year. Juvenile cases, which includes the whole gamut, but statewide there was an increase in cases, 5.9%. Spencer County had 135.6%. District criminal overall, statewide had a 4.6% increase. Spencer County had a 14.4%. Which felony, statewide there was a 10.32% decrease. Spencer County had a 52.2% increase. And once you get to dependency, abuse, and neglect, those are our family court dockets dealing with allegations of child abuse, dependency, kids not receiving kind of the support and necessities that they need at home. Dependency statewide had a 2.4% increase. Spencer County had a 160% increase. Abuse and neglect cases, there was a 9.64% decrease statewide for 2021 to 2023. And Spencer County had a 141.2% increase. So those cases are ramping up. Last month we had in November we had a deputy who completed academy and then increased salary cap. There's another deputy hired, which means we're likely going to see increases in all of those cases moving forward. Primary objections for objective, not objection. We hope there's actually approval. In having this position, there are several. One is for audit preparation. The county attorney's office is going to face audits on a regular basis, much like clerk and sheriff's offices.
And that's new.
Yeah, it's new, and what we're hoping to do is get everything prepared in that kind of area. And what we're going to do is they had a pilot program with the auditor's office, and if you signed up for the pilot program, not only would it be a reduced cost compared to what a full audit would be, but it would also get you agreed upon procedures and best practices moving forward for tracking money. We've got the software for it. We just need somebody so that we can get that all the information that we need entered. There hasn't been information about this year's pilot program, but we expect in coming weeks that there will be. I know the new auditor's office, they're getting transitioned into the office, so that's probably going to be down the pike. Delinquent property taxes, in a couple months we're going to be facing The unpaid tax bills that will go from the sheriff's office to the clerk's office, our office steps in, that's when we do 30 and 60-day notices, initiate the processes for that before the delinquent tax sale bills. It is time intensive on our end, preparing those letters and making sure that we're getting the appropriate notice out so those bills can be paid, and if not paid, then sold at the auction. But it is something that will bring additional revenue to the county. Delinquent occupational taxes. Stephanie met with us, and what we want to do, there are certain entities that have not paid dating back to 2019, I believe 2018, when we met with Stephanie. We've talked with our district judges, and they've been open to the idea. We're hoping to have a couple of days where we, bring action on occupational taxes. Nobody likes paying those, but at the same time, we have to enforce the law and ordinances that it's written. So that's something that'll be new that we're hoping to not only implement, but fine tune this year from years moving forward for that. And then there's various county projects. I know we've talked at length about needing to step up with code enforcement, the abatement procedures, and in terms of actually having ordinances with enough guidance in place so that we can really implement those. It is something that's been years in the making in terms of the need that's existed, and it's something that we hope to give attention to. I know we've done some research into other counties and their abatement procedures, including Jessamine County. They have, there's been a listserv on the county attorney email chain about procedures for that. But that's something we want to do, because with code enforcement, it's, when we face DUI and assault charges and child abuse cases, sometimes it does sadly fall into the cracks of code enforcement, but it also is, but it doesn't take away from the importance, because, people living next to properties that, grown up, not kept, it affects property values there. So it's something that we need to do, but in getting this position, we're going to devote her time to the county's efforts on these projects, and then also, there is part of the request too was that it would be part-time, so there would not be retirement contributions and things for fiscal court. It would be just the hours worked at the rate requested. So those are the main areas that we want to try to tackle with this position. And obviously, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I want to make a motion. If we get a second, then we'll discuss. But before I make the motion, I would like this to be till the end of the year, and then at the end of the year, just let it be funded till the end of the year, this calendar year, and then we can reevaluate it, and then on a year-by-year basis, we could decide to extend it. So I was going to make a motion to approve the request of the county attorney to hire Sidney Boatwright part-time at $22 an hour, not to exceed 25 hours a week, and it'd be until 12/31/24, and it'll be reevaluated. The position will be reevaluated annually.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by myself, seconded by Will, to approve the county attorney's request of Sidney Boatwright at $22 an hour, not to exceed 25 a week part-time, and the position will be until 12/31/24, and be reevaluated annually. Any discussion?
Quick question, not to go down the rabbit hole or anything, because I don't want to take a whole lot of time, but I was reading all those figures about increases versus state averages. How come Spencer County is so exponential in their increases above the state average? Is that just a change in demographic?
I think it's twofold. I think partially it's because we continue to be a fast-growing county. Another part of it too is up until I think last year, we didn't have any full-time staff with CPS here in the county. We have at least 2 full-time, maybe some part-time, but increasing in staffing. We still had cases because Anderson County and surrounding county caseworkers would be assigned those cases. But I think with the number of law enforcement that we have, increasing population, and just having those caseworkers here to actually investigate and implement those cases. I think those all feed into why there was such a stark increase on those, but that's, you know.
And I think a lot of those figures were quite alarming. You know, when you think about, I mean, that's, some of those figures paint a grim picture of community, really,
Well, yeah.
you know.
And
a deeper underlying problem.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, you're just talking about having to deal with the problem that's been created, but.
I think, you know, that there is obviously concern when you see those cases grow. I think a lot of it is there, you know, there's probably a pretty good likelihood that some of those cases were going uninvestigated or under-investigated due to staffing and.
So now they're just coming to light.
I would venture to guess that would be some of it, but, you know, post-COVID, I mean, it seems like, there's just been increases, in those cases. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it's the increase in number of workers or what, but, that's just.
Economy doesn't help.
Yeah, the economy doesn't help, you know, and it's just, those are the circumstances that we're facing, so,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I don't foresee these problems going away in the short term.
Yeah, hopefully next year we won't have 100% growth.
Right, yeah, low. Well, and that's what's, you know, I have a feel we're probably gonna have to re-up this again at the, you know, at the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
But we'll have a better handle on, once we get the next year's numbers out, and to what extent we're gonna need to keep this.
And those were for, you know, illustrative things, because as an example, Vice Friday was handling the district court docket. Cheryl had to go for a DCO hearing for a case involving some pretty gruesome injuries to a couple of inmates. So, not only are those cases, the sheer number of cases that we see, or at least that have come across our desk, have they increased, but, you know, they can happen at a minute's notice that, you know, we got that notice Thursday afternoon that the hearing was gonna be Friday at 10, so.
Well, I mean, emergency custody cases, you can't push them.
Right, yeah, they've gotta be held within a certain
Right.
time frame. So, I mean, and, you know, whenever sometimes these emergencies arise, you know, we've gotta do what we're doing to make sure that those get the attention that are necessary, so. It's a balancing act, and that's why with this position, we hope to have that, have Sydney focus solely on county things.
And I
That
know-
way, we can continue to get the ball rolling and keep the ball rolling on.
I know that me and you talked before about, there's a little bit of a gap that we need to meet between stuff that happens in like Julie's office and stuff like that, and then getting it turned over to you guys, and you guys being able to take the appropriate action.
Yeah.
We don't want ordinances that are enforced by the codes of this county to fall on deaf ears, because it lacks teeth. And, Corey, he's tasked with being the teeth of that, so anything we can do to, I support this 100% because he needs to help, because we're lacking in a few areas, because he has to put criminal and emergency stuff first. Unfortunately, just, you know, he needs some more staff, and so.
All right, any other discussion?
I just want to say, if all the department heads put a presentation in front of them on what they wanted, like you just did, I thought it was great. We'd give them everything. So,
Yeah, what
very good, very good presentation.
Just couldn't afford to do everything.
I'm sure they're always
Nuts and bolts we can-
All right, let's go ahead and vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
There you go.
Thank you, Corey. All right, next we have,
Roads.
on page 116, before we can do work over at Silo Farms on those roads, we gotta adopt them into the county road system.
And they've done, what's the bond, we already got the bond.
Yes,
money
we've
on
already
this.
got the funds. So, but we have to adopt the roads before we can work on them.
I moved to, I guess.
This will be a first reading, I guess.
Is it? Okay. Well, do you want to do it then?
Yeah, we don't have to do anything now.
I mean, do you want to read it, or you? I just jumped on it and sent my
You
agenda.
read it to the minutes, probably.
Yeah, all right, I'll read to the minutes. The developer of Silo Farm subdivision has terminated their business, surrendered road bond funds to fiscal court for completion of the roads adoption of the Spencer County road system, and whereas residents have long awaited the roads in this development be completed and maintained by county road department as was originally intended, and now therefore be it ordained, Spencer County Fiscal Court, Commonwealth of Kentucky, that the fiscal court does hereby adopt in the Spencer County road system following roads within Sallow Farm subdivision for services including maintenance, repair, snow removal, and right-of-way mowing. And that's Crafton Drive. Of course, it's extended an additional length of 1,865 feet. Kennedy Court, 1,065 feet. Roosevelt Court, 973 feet. And Adams Court, 432 feet. This will be first reading. Let's go ahead and vote and approve the first reading.
Motion approved.
Second.
All right, motion by Mike, I have, trying to get fast. Motion by Mike, seconded by Zach, to approve the first reading on these roads. Is there any discussion?
Just one comment, do we need to vote on the first reading?
Well, it's, I'm looking at it here, given first reading and approved, so when I saw the word approved, I thought we'd just vote.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but, you know, first reading, you know, we always just.
Well, we'll vote on the second reading next time and
That's fine.
enter it that way. Let's go.
Go ahead, you're okay.
All right. Good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. We approve that. Discussion on Heritage Hills. Dan, I don't know if you have anything more than I could add.
Just, you know, this development, I get calls from people there about, especially after the snow, when the roads didn't get cleaned because they're not in the county system. Since 2018, when this development was initiated, there's been several times that QK4, not Q4, has been called out there to evaluate the roads and what needs to be brought up to standard before the county can take it over. I have all those reports, all of them are identical. That, you know, the road, the same thing needs to be done each time that QK4 says needs to be done each time before the county can take the roads over. They're not getting done, they haven't been done in the last several years, and I'd just like to see what, as a body, we can do to give them some relief to get those roads.
Where's Old Elm Creek Road? Right
Old Elm Creek up here.
Merle Lawson?
Yeah.
Well, what improvements are they saying is necessary?
Well, there is one road there that is actually a hazard. It has you're driving across it, it's too steep, it's got a 2-to-1 grade, so a 2-to-1 grade says if you go off the road, you're not gonna recover.
I don't see me.
So that road needs to be brought up to a 3-to-1 grade. It needs to have gravel put in. That's what they're suggesting, that they put enough gravel there to build that up. There's also about 100 foot of road that was never paved. I won't get into the reason why that.
Do we have the bond?
But it was never paved.
Well, they've been paying the bond, but again, the road's not, like Dan said, and they had the snow, I guess, nobody's scraping.
Yeah.
So, but,
The developer needs to be held accountable.
well, this is something that Corey, and the new person in your office could help us with.
So what's the option, just forfeit the bond and then?
Well, we need to see what our options are.
Okay, all right.
Basically. So.
I thought that you were getting ready to tell us what our.
No, and that's basically, well, I just wanted to find out what can the residents do, or what can we do to kind of give them some relief?
That's right there across from Barrett's Fletcher.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically, a year ago, the developer came in, and we were talking about it, and
That may be a lot or two.
he went and paid over here at the bank, paid the bond, whatever it is. And I think it's time right now, it's due again.
It just got paid.
What is
Paid
the
it.
bond?
43,000,
That's it?
yeah, and some change, $43,130.
So we need to see what our options are, because we really need to get this fixed. So if y'all do, Corey can advise us.
Just put that on your list for us.
Sounds good to me.
And Julie, of course, Julie can help us with that.
You know,
got new employees.
just for throwing it out there, sake, this, I won't take it just a second, but I think it's, I don't know if it's us, planning zone or whatever, just moving forward, I think it would behoove us, for potential planning, to discuss what these bonds are gonna be moving forward. With the price of everything going up, we don't wanna not raise our bonds to get in a position that if a developer leaves us a mess, we don't have enough bond money to clean it up.
I agree with that, so, 5 years ago, $43,000 was probably a good amount. Now it's probably 2 to 3 times that. If the county was to take it over and fix it, it's probably gonna be 2 to 3 times that amount.
And I think we did, when we amended some of the regulations, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, that we put in there, it was a 3-year period, if the developer wasn't finished within a 3-year period, he had to go back and not resubmit the final plat, but go back through the process again, and then that's when the bond money would be raised due to inflation. So I think it's like 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, as far as they could go, where it used to about be, you could just renew it, just like this was.
Well, I know that all these, over here in Silo Farm, that was a mess on the back end of that. And we did have some bond money. I think we got lucky that the bond money was able to cover, but we're not having, it's kind of twofold. Like, I don't want to screw the developers into having to put up a bunch of money, but at the same time, we have to look out for the county too, and I just want to make sure that we might want to look at that moving forward, whether it's in the administrative code or wherever it's at, when it comes time to look at it. Just make sure that we're increasing that as inflation increases in the price of stuff that we're having to buy and materials and
Well,
stuff.
just checking on it, but I believe that we do have a time limit on it now, where we didn't before.
Yeah. And I do know that I think we've had a problem with some builders in the past that, I think that has, of abandoning their bonds, just saying, at what point do you want to make the bond large enough to hold them accountable? Well, they need to fix it because they can't afford to get rid of the bond.
Well, what they'll do is if the repairs cost more than what they've got bond on it, then they might as well just let it go,
Well, then we end up getting the bond and then we have to pay the extra expense.
We're probably gonna be there at Sallow, truth be known.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, we should just we should do due diligence to make sure we're not setting ourselves up to start eating exuberant amounts of money when these bonds either get forfeited or there's more work that has to be done.
Luckily, like here at Heritage Hills, what Todd has told me, that would cover what needs to be done.
Yeah, I got that.
So that's a good deal.
From
We're all right on that one. But, all right, if y'all are okay, we'll keep on rolling. On page 118, I've got a resolution here. I had mentioned to you all before about Salt River Electric wants to invest in Spencer County. They want to help by offering a $330,000 loan for any type of program that we might need. And I thought it would be a great opportunity to go ahead and put it towards building an animal shelter. And again, I hope you all read that. It's a 10-year, 0 interest loan. But we would have to pass a resolution, and then we would go through the Department of Local Government, which there's some stuff in here, and we may need to do some adjustments on it. But Salt River wants to invest in Spencer County, and I think this is a grand opportunity, 0 money.
Well, I'll make a motion that we adopt this resolution for approval of 0% 10-year loan from Salt River Electric for $330,000.
Second.
All right, have a motion by Zach, seconded by Mike, to approve Resolution 1, which is a 0 interest loan, 10 years from Salt River Electric for $330,000. To approve the resolution to apply for this.
I didn't see anything in there like about terms of payment, or is it supposed to be a one-time payment monthly, like one time a year, or?
Well,
I guess that'll get worked out
To
later.
memory, to my memory, it was, you might even have the first year you didn't have to pay anything. But then it was divided among the other 9 years equally a month. But it's 0 interest. So, and we will have to give.
Did we get a second?
Yeah, I got a motion in a second. Zach and Mike. And the reason the animal shelter will work good is they will have to they want something for collateral. And that tract of ground, the only other thing on that tract of ground is the sheriff's impound lot, of course. But, when we build there, they would need, take that piece of ground for collateral. And, I'm sure that can be done. So it'll just be that piece of ground there. It's not all a radio park. It's just that, 9 or 11 acres that's right dead behind the dollar store. So that'll be tied to it.
Okay, I've got some reservations about it, and, I mean, it sounds good, okay? But, Salt River's gonna give us $300,000 for 10 years.
Yeah.
0% interest, okay? Then we're gonna have to pay back $30,000 a year towards premium, towards that loan. Okay, so this 300,000 is gonna go directly into our general fund. It's not gonna go, we might say it's going for the animal shelter, blah, 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 but all of our ARPA money is in the general fund, so this is gonna go right into the general fund. Okay, that's gonna show up on our debt service as a debt. And then what it's gonna do, say 7 years from now, when different people are sitting at this court, they got a $30,000 annual payment to Salt River for the next 5 years of their court, and they say, well, what was that all about? You know, why did they strap that debt for us when, if it was a grant, it'd be a different story, but this is a loan, is all it is, that we have to pay back, so, you see where I'm coming from?
I'm just seeing where you're coming from, but kind of the way I look at it is, okay, if we take that $300,000 that we were gonna pull out of CDs.
Let's make 6% on it and use someone else's money.
And put it towards the animal shelter, then, and somebody else is gonna give us 0% money. And there's no penalty for paying it off early, I'm sure, so, if we had a influx of funds, then, you could always work on kind of paying off early.
I think in the long run, what will happen, okay, is, okay, when our next 3 years is over and done, okay, and the next court's 4 years is over and done, ARPA money is gonna be a thing of the past. We will have spent all of that money that we've got in excess now, and it'll be gone, and then the next judge is gonna be strapped with making a budget, preparing a budget, and he has none of that ARPA funds like we do now, like we're spending just crazy for everything. It's gonna be gone, and then that's when this loan, which really, what good did it do us? The court's gotta pay for it down the road.
The only thing that I'll say, I mean, you make a valid point, and I respect your viewpoint on it. The only thing I would say is, I was gonna say the same thing, kind of that Dan hinted to, $300,000 at 6% interest, if we're getting that in the bank, I mean, that's $18,000.
We're getting 5 something.
So $15,000, if you're able to save that money, you're actually making $15,000 by not drawing that out to pay things.
I agree with that.
So it's not like, but it is a loan, it is a debt, but at the end of the day, I think if you look at the end of the term of the loan or whatever, if we was able to save $300,000 in CDs, then we would make $45,000 more.
Yeah, in 9 months, in Jim's defense, I agree 100% with what you just said.
I guess it's according to just
0.01%.
where each one of us gets in our mindset where the 300,000 is going. I'm saying it's going in the general fund, it's gonna be spent. Okay, let's put it in a CD by itself and draw interest on it for 10 years.
Well,
and just say that's where it's going.
Well, I mean, I just thought we was kind of doing the same thing, if we just left the 300,000 in and didn't withdraw it out, then this is not the same, it's just like.
That's what I say, it's all in what you think it's gonna go to,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so.
I'm in favor
Are
of
you saying to
Why wouldn't
just,
this just go to the animal shelter line?
as long as, it gets earmarked just for the animal
I'm not
shelter?
even worried about earmark.
Yeah,
Let the general fund be done with it.
Yeah, it's gonna be, Salt River Electric will be at a meeting somewhere, and they will we may be up there with them and they're gonna say, hey, we helped Spencer County build a new animal shelter. You know, they want it tied to something, you know, just as we need it. I mean, if this was a 6-7% loan, what kind of discussions would we be having? This is zero. This is
Let's put
zero.
it in an animal shelter and be, just like you said.
And they knocked on the door, hey, we have picked Spencer County, we wanna help you all, we've helped the counties around you. We're happy with what you all doing, you know, I'm saying what they told me. So, I think we need to take advantage of it.
I say so.
All right, all those in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, so then we have let's see, notice of intent to borrow, a requirement by the Department of Local Government. Corey, I'll have to get you to help advise me. I guess, do we need to vote to send the Department of Local Government an intent to borrow, or did that motion of applying for the resolution cover it?
Well, applying for the resolution was for the loan for Salt River.
Okay.
I'd have a separate vote on this.
We would?
Yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion that we send the Department of Local Government a notice of intent to borrow.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second motion by myself, second by Zach, to send the Department of Local Government a notice of intent to borrow. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. On page 123, that's basically a letter to WPC that we agreed to trade with them. We shouldn't have to vote on that one.
A question on that
Yes.
is, you know, that bid, that's printed there, that did not include the outside concrete and
That's
outside
right.
kennels.
That's right.
You said we would have to,
We'll do it down
advertise
the
that
road.
again?
Yeah. Well, we'll do it down the road.
But I mean, is that the process we're gonna go through?
Yes.
Okay.
What I expect to happen, Jim, is I done talked to WPC and I said, y'all gonna get started, aren't you? When's this gonna be done? And I said, you know, I'm expecting 12 to 16 months. They said, that ought not be a problem. Weeks, I'm sorry. Yeah, weeks. That's the,
Most was definitely not a problem.
yeah. Anyway, weeks would not be a problem. So, you know, I'm planning by the time school starts, we're gonna open this thing up. And kind of where I wanted to go with this, when this company gets out there and starts digging, pouring footers, that's when we'll start get people to bid and design get our kennels and all that.
Great. Okay.
Because I think all it'll amount to is we'll hire a concrete guy to come in there and concrete. And then I still hope we can get our own people to Todd and them to do the grading, get the rock down, and then Mago come in there and blacktop it.
Well, that whole outside area, with the chain link fences and the concrete block kennels on the outside walls, they bid that, two companies bid on doing that part of it separately. But they were in after the bid came in, so that's why you say we have to redo it.
Yeah.
So, you know, you say we might just get a concrete guy, but I
Well,
think
we'll have to
we
rebid.
need to bid that whole package, concrete, fences, block, and everything as one package, just the way it was written up.
Well, we can.
Okay.
We can. But yeah, I figured when they get out there, that's when we'll start.
Fine.
So
Let's do it.
and it'll all happen. All right. Now on page, this is the sample draft, and I'd like us to go ahead and vote on this.
A couple things. First,
Yeah.
it would need to have like the KRS references for the local agreements in it. I've talked with Robert Miles. He's going to look into the question of whether the city's bond, whether this is allowable under the city bond for them to provide for the construction. And unless until that time, then.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's on the burner. We've had conversations about it. But until we get an answer.
Well, I don't think that we can get free water and sewer for life out of them.
Right.
But if we get them to do all this work, and I believe that,
That's what I
kind of said they would.
Yeah.
So,
I started life.
We're gonna take their critters
right.
For life.
for life.
Like a good product, you start with life.
So, all right,
There's a
next.
question of whether they're allowed under their bond. Right.
Okay.
Well, then we won't be allowed to take their action.
Well, if they're not, they're lying.
They're lying.
All right, so next we have the invoices, bills, and transfers.
Do you wanna do this, or do you wanna do the other thing first?
The executive session,
Yeah,
I won't do it last,
okay.
because I don't think there's, no, I won't, I don't think we'll have any, we won't have a whole lot take place on that. I had, Lena, at our last meeting, you mentioned about that wasn't your phone line. We need to add that back into our bills. I believe, the 8276, correct?
It's labeled wrong. I don't have a cell phone. That may have been for the usage on the e-poll books. But I think for auditing purpose, you might want to label it correctly. I don't have a cell phone.
Oh, that's
Because you, that one, right, because like,
So you think it's your e-poll books that?
I think it's the usage from Verizon for the e-poll books.
Oh, okay.
After the meeting, I thought
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
more or
but it
less a
says-
cellular data plan or something for the books.
Yes, it said cell phone, and I don't have a cell phone, so.
right.
So this is miscommunication, yeah, it's all.
Well, I
Labeled
want,
wrong.
yeah, I want to include it in with these bills, because we voted not to pay it last time.
Right.
So again, we have to pay our bills.
Well, and I think, you know, we need to make sure it's labeled right too, because that way we keep track of what we're spending on elections.
Right.
And the auditors like to know that.
It being
That's
election
a good point,
expense.
man.
So Doug, you got a note of that, we'll make sure that we add that, and that it is, we'll work on, get the labeling right on it. One other thing, there was a bill that came in, I know we talked about, you getting someone to help you download your, camera footage over there, and I think we got a bill for over $2,000 for 1 month.
No, it's all itemized. It's itemized. I told you at the December 18th meeting, they could only download 24 hours at a time. And I gave you kind of a guesstimate on the number of hours.
So we're saying that it costs over $2,000 to download from the last election?
Yes,
Was that,
To download all the footage?
yes.
Who was that
30
paid,
days
who
of
was that
footage,
paid
yes.
to?
It's a place over here on Main Street, Elite, I think. something.
Elite Technical,
so is that because of the system?
Because
yes.
it's just the latency, the slowness of it?
How slow it is and how labor intensive to take out one thumb drive and put another one in. You have to go over there and do that and troubleshoot it. Sometimes they would go over there and try to download it. They didn't stay, they left, and then they came back 3 hours later and found out that it didn't
Right.
download. So
Doug, that bill's not in, I don't think that bill's in this bunch of bills
I don't
today,
see
is
it,
it?
I don't see it anywhere.
Well, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it last night, but anyhow, we're not going, we got a bill, we'll pay our bill, but I'm not planning to pay that anymore. So,
we need to get some cameras that work better than.
but I remember us having a discussion, I think, back before Christmas, and you mentioned about you needed to get somebody to help you do it, and I remember that I said that I think that would be fine. Well, if it's $20-some $100, then it ain't fine. So, we're gonna pay our bills, but going forward, we're gonna come up with something different.
So
Better cameras.
do we have bids on a replacement system that would work better?
No, we're gonna start from scratch. I think that we have a system that'll work right now, but apparently we can't get it to work. But we need to continue working to get something to work.
Or change out some components?
And again, the fella is going to do the key fobs, and I'm tired of us talking about this every meeting, but when the guy doing the key fobs had a cheaper price on the cameras. But I don't know that we'll trade with that guy, but we'll bring it up again next meeting. So anyway, I entertain a motion to approve the bills.
Motion to approve the bills.
With this one added.
With that one, salary.
Yeah, it's $82.76.
Very good.
All right, have a motion by Zach, second by Will, to approve the invoices, bills, and transfers with the addition of the $82.76 Verizon Business.
You're missing a magistrate.
Jim went to the bathroom.
Oh,
I say we vote, and if it goes majority, who, it don't matter. They can speak when he comes back in.
yeah, I won't be nice.
Here he comes. I was trying to coach you.
We're waiting on Jim, I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought y'all was getting
Action.
to wrestle.
No, we was hashing. We're good. We have a motion to approve the bills, and transfers with the addition of this one bill. And we're getting ready to vote, and I looked and he's gone.
I vote yes.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Next on the agenda is executive session, KRS 61810. I need a motion to go into executive session.
Motion to go into executive session as to pay 61-810F discussions or hearing which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee.
Second.
I have a motion by Zach, second by Mike to go into executive session. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. We can keep it going, this won't take long.
So you say that.
I know I say it every time, this time I'll try to be.
Yeah, there's every middle ground. How was your road went out? It's gonna be a year in March.
Nice sunny morning.
Yeah, that's the problem. I got 3 days to do 10 days worth of work.
All right, entertain a motion to return to open session and no decisions were made.
Removed?
All right, motion by Mike, seconded by Zach, to return to open session from executive session and no decisions were made. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, motion by Zach, second by Will to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Y'all be careful this week.
Good meeting. I need quick there. It's quick, I go down.
Zach will be the first one at the door, huh? No, it won't.
What cookies to go
Will be in there either.
You don't like, I got my mother.
Okay.